for the New York Yankees. Alfonso Soriano, as usual, leads off at second base. Derek Jeter, who's been extremely hot at shortstop. Jason Giambi, hitless in this series at first base. Bernie Williams, still not back at peak efficiency after coming back from the DL, is in center. Hideki Matsui, hitless in this series. He's in left field. Jorge Posada, the catcher. Nick Johnson, back from the DL. He was in the lineup here Friday. He's the DH. Robin Ventura, the veteran third baseman. And Raul Mondesi is in right field, batting ninth. All against the Red Sox right-hander Derek Lowe, who is 11-4. He won over 20 last year, but his earned run average is much higher this year.
Well, he led the Boston Red Sox in wins last year. He's at it again. And like you said, John, he's awful tough here at home. Of those 11 victories, 7 right here. He loves pitching in this ballpark. He's got a lot of confidence, as we talked to him before the game to tonight, about this ball game. On defense behind Derek, they were decent last year, but much improved this year. Trot Nixon outstanding in right field. Johnny Damon in center field with only 1 error in center field over the past 3 years. You got Manny Ramirez in left, Bill Miller, Garcia Parra solid. Walker and Miller, on the other hand, they're out there because of what they can do at the plate. Varitek continues to improve. He has tremendous trust and confidence in this staff in him.
And so the Yankees come up. Now, as we mentioned, the Red Sox are leading the planet in offense. But the Yankees got a few guys, have a few guys who can hit as well. Their leadoff man has 24 homers, as for instance. Alfonso Soriano hitting .287. So here we go. And that one is foul into the seats just behind third. And it is 0-1. Lowe has had particular trouble in the first innings of games this year.
Yeah. That happens to a lot of sinker ball type guys because they come out there and their adrenaline is just going too hard. They're throwing too hard rather than in that comfort zone.
Right to the second baseman Walker. Hit real hard.
But you know what? To me, John, that's the big difference in these two starting pitchers tonight. Over the last 4 years, Derek Lowe has learned to challenge people early in the count. If you keep the ball down, you get a little tilt on it, you either get a ground ball or a line drive. And if you do that, including yourself, there's 5 gloves out there that can make a play for you, as Walker just did.
Now, Derek Jeter, it wasn't so long ago, we were in Chicago on Sunday Night Baseball, and Jeter's average had fallen below 250. Jeter comes into play tonight hitting .317. He's been extremely hot. He's hitting well over 400 in the month of July as he takes a called strike. But this has never been his favorite park in which to hit. He has his lowest career batting average at Fenway Park of any other ballpark. Only .249. On the other hand, he hits home runs here. He's hit more homers here than any other ballpark away from Yankee Stadium. He's hit 7 home runs at Fenway. You see the some dark clouds overhead. It's very muggy, very humid. Jeter toward the middle. Nomar throws out Jeter. 2 men gone.
Even though the crowd gets a little bit more excited, you could see the adjustment there by Derek Lowe. His velocity dropped just slightly, and because of that, the fastball dropped a little bit more. Instead of the line drive, you get the routine ground ball. Look at that in his last start against Detroit. Well, first of all, you would expect a win. The Tigers have struggled all year. But look at how he got that win with the 18 ground ball outs. You keep your pitch count down, you come back in your next start even stronger.
2 down, nobody on. Here's Jason Giambi. Giambi 0 for 6 in the series. And the count is 0-1. 28 homers, second in the league in that category. Carlos Delgado. The Blue Jays hit number 30 today. He's 5th in the league in RBIs. And he does think that he would be hitting even better if he had his home games here at Fenway Park. Yankee Stadium is really a ballpark that in many ways, although it has that short right field porch, in many ways it favors the pitcher. And Giambi says he rarely hits a home run down the right field line at Yankee Stadium. Toward the big wall in left center. Damon looks up. That ball is way out of here. Now that is a tape measure shot. Up near that light tower and beyond, that was a monster home run. Above that 379 marker, above the 37-foot high wall, and well beyond it. anybody who hits a home run out there, especially a lefty, has to crush the ball.
Well, I think that's a big part of the reason he loves this ballpark. If you think about Yankee Stadium in that big backyard that a pitcher has, I'm talking about center field and in particular the big gap in left center, that ball right there might have been caught. It's so much deeper than it is here. It might have been a different approach by Jason Giambi. He knows he can go out anywhere in this ballpark. He just proved it.
So it is 1-0. The Yankees out in front. Here's Bernie Williams. Bernie, first ball swinging, and Bill Miller throws him out. So just like that, the Yankees are gone. But Jason Giambi's first hit of the weekend has put the Yanks ahead. The Red Sox are coming up. Nomar batting third.
Get an unprecedented look at the making of the best sports show on television.
This is Inside Sports Center.
And it all leads up to the live broadcast at 11. This is Sports Center, presented by Microsoft, Tuesday at 10 on ESPN.
Sure, I respect the traditions of golf, but I gotta admit, I'm really looking forward to the battle at the bridges.
Tiger Woods and Ernie Els face Sergio Garcia and Phil Mickelson. Lincoln Financial Battle at the Bridges. Monday night, 8 Eastern on ABC Sports. Championship Television.
Now the Red Sox coming up, trailing 1-0 to the New York Yankees. Here's the next held batting order for the Red Sox. Johnny Damon, the leadoff man in center. Todd Walker at second. He's been struggling in the month of July. Nomar Garcia-Parra at short. Manny Ramirez, the big RBI man in left field. David Ortiz, yesterday's hero, the designated hitter. Kevin Millar at first base. Trot Nixon having a big year in right field. Bill Miller also having a big year, playing a great third base, hitting 8. Jason Varitek is the catcher. Even the ninth place hitter is a threat in this great Boston batting order. And they're all up against Jeff Weaver, and a lot of them have had great success against Weaver over the years.
Well, he's pitched better in 3 of his last 4 starts, but even the Yankees will tell you they don't know what to expect with him. What they would like to see is more aggressiveness with that fastball. As happened in the top of the first inning, solo home runs won't beat you with an offense as good as he's got behind him. But a lot of times his body language will dictate to you what kind of confidence level he has.
So here is Johnny Damon. And that's a called strike on the outside. Damon begins the night hitting .267, 8 homers, 45 driven in. Over the inside corner from Weaver. Strike 2 call. Now, there were 3 members of this Red Sox lineup who have had 2 homer games against Weaver. Nomar Garcia-Parra, Manny Ramirez, and Trot Nixon. That is strike 3 called in the inside corner. 1 away.
Second baseman, number 12.
Jason Giambi put the Yankees ahead with a long home run to left center.
Well, that's the 29th home run of the year, 80th RBI of the year for Jason. And he told us earlier in the year when he struggled this year, just like he did last year. He said, you know what, with a power hitter, it's all about putting together one good week. You put together a good week, you get the power numbers up there where they're supposed to be.
Now Todd Walker, and that's a strike on the inside. 0-1 to Todd Walker. Walker, we mentioned, has struggled so far here in July, hitting below 200. That one stays inside. Walker hitting only 182 in the month of July. 1 ball, 1 strike. Walker, then Nomar Garcia-Parra against Weaver. And Weaver trying to come up big for the Yankees in the clutch tonight. Walker pops one up. Giambi under it. And that is out number 2.
Let's take a look defensively behind Jeff Weaver. You've got a solid outfield. Bernie Williams in the center. Mondesi and Matsui in left. You got a lot of gold gloves at third base in Ventura. Jeter's the guy that drives the bus. It's just hard to imagine he was out for as many games as he was earlier in the year. Soriano's going to make some young errors. Nobody with more range there. Giambi loves playing the field, but the real improvement, again, as with Boston, has been Posada. His throwing shoulder is healthy. He's playing well.
Here's Nomar, a check swing, and that breaking ball misses off the outside. The Yankees appeal to the first base umpire, Jerry Lane, who rules in favor of Nomar. And that hit He's hit 5 homers in only 20 career at-bats against Weaver. And this time, Weaver hit him.
You and I were talking about it before the game. Over the last 4 seasons, the Yankees have been hit 37 times. The Red Sox have only been hit 15 times in head-to-head ball games. Now, over those 4 years, you got to remember, that's about the time Pedro Martinez got here. And he's going to hit people, he's going to move people, and that's what Jeff Weaver just did.
Well, Nomar, 10 hits in 20 lifetime at-bats against Weaver. 5 of them home runs. He's had 2 different games where he's homered twice against Weaver. And Weaver gets him. It looked like he got him in the top of the right hand. So here is Manny Ramirez. Trying to turn that into something here. And Nomar back to the bag at first. Manny Ramirez has also had a 2-homer game against Jeff Weaver. And Ramirez, 5 hits, 14 career at-bats, including those 2 home runs. He's got 25 homers, 79 driven in for the year.
Well, if you give Manny 20 at-bats off anybody, more than likely he's going to have 2 home runs off of it. He's just that good.
And that's too high.
Well, let's tell you what's happening here. Take a look at where it starts out. He throws it right where the hands of Nomar Garcia are going to go. And what Weaver's saying is, if you don't move, take a look at where it starts out. He's saying you're going to have to move. I've got to get you off the plate. The numbers dictated that. Nomar didn't move in time, and because of it, he's going to be sore.
Analyzed in true form by a pitcher. And that slider is off the outside. 2-0 to Manny Ramirez. 1-0. The Yankees out front. Now Manny, I mean, think of Manny as a power guy. Homers, RBIs, but he's also a perennial 300 hitter. Won a batting championship here for the Red Sox. And in this series, he's hit a double off the center field wall, a single off the left field wall, and a homer right down the right field line. That's in at the knees for a strike. 2-1. So he's had hits to all fields in the first 2 games of this series. That foul pole in right field where he hit one, it's only 302 feet to that foul pole. And our camera is right out near what they call the pesky pole, Johnny Pesky's pole. He used to joke the only time he'd ever hit a home run is if he wrapped one around that foul pole in right field at only 302 from home plate as Ramirez takes strike 2. If you hit one maybe 15 feet off that foul pole in right field, you got to hit it about 370 to get it into the seats, though.
You can see how difficult this can be on a visiting team to play that right field position. It also makes you respect what Trot Nixon does here on a daily basis.
3-2 the count now to Manny Ramirez. David Ortiz is on deck. Jason Giambi alerting Weaver from over near first base that he will no longer be holding on the bag against Nomar. There's Ortiz on deck. He's a guy who has learned how to take advantage of Fenway in a short time, as he demonstrated yesterday. There goes Nomar. And ball 4 to Manny. So a hit batsman and then a walk. The Red Sox have put 2 men on, and here comes David Ortiz. Yesterday, as a pinch hitter against Armando Benitez in the last of the 9th inning, he crushed one out into deep left center to win the game.
You got to remember, too, the count was 0-2. A power situation for Benitez. He tried to challenge him with his best power fastball, and you just cannot do that with a healthy David Ortiz, and that's what Boston has had. Excuse me, the count was 1-2.
So here's Ortiz, 2 on, 2 out. And the curveball too low. Well, in fact, Benitez on the 0-2 pitch thought that he had him struck out. And I asked Ortiz about it today. He thought it was clearly too low. He'd gotten a pitch that was up in the strike zone earlier in the at-bat. And then the next one he hit. He hit it hard. Bounces this curveball foul. And he showed that he could hit a 97-mile-an-hour fastball yesterday. And so far, Jeff Weaver is trying to find out how well he handles slow curveball. There's Ron Jackson, the hitting coach for the Red Sox.
And this is part of his philosophy. He talked to even Manny Ramirez about this in spring training. We have to walk when they're not going to give us anything to hit, like the Yankees. And he referred to the Yankees and their success. You have to have confidence in your teammates. And Manny Ramirez saying, hey, they're not going to give me anything to hit, David. It's your turn.
2 on, 2 out. Yanks ahead by a run. Had that sinker on the inside. It stayed inside. 2 balls and a strike to Ortiz. Ortiz is another guy who's had some success against Weaver. 1 homer in 13 at bats. 4 for 13, a 3.08 average. Garcia Parra at second. Manny Ramirez at first. Jeff Weaver, who has struggled most of the year. And that's pulled foul. 2-2 the count. The Red Sox lead not just the American League, but the major leagues in team batting average, runs per game. That on base average is their whole team would make a good leadoff man. And any guy who's got a slugging percentage of 500 is doing well. The whole team has a 500 slugging percentage.
And a lot of that coming right here at home for the Red Sox.
No team has ever finished a year with a slugging percentage of 500 or better. 2-2. 3-2. He missed badly with that one.
Well, and you're starting to see that frustration. Look at him. You saw him kick the ground. You saw him slap at the ball that Posada threw back to him. What does that do? That gets these fans going even more. It frustrates Joe Torre and pitching coach Mel Stottlemyre. They've talked to him about that. He needs to forget about that body language. Show some positive things to give some confidence to the guys behind you.
There go the runners. And it's ball 4. He tried to sneak that 2-seamer by him on the inside, but missed with it. And the bases are loaded. A hit batsman, followed by 2 walks on 3-2 pitches. So Garcia Parra at third, Ramirez at second. There's Ortiz taking over at first.
And I tell you, who's taken over in that Boston Red Sox clubhouse has been the guy at home plate right now, Kevin Millar. He was one of the more popular figures when he was with the Florida Marlins. He has continued that right here. He gets everybody involved in that team chemistry, and he can also swing the bat a little bit.
292 average, 17 homers, 64 driven in. 3 men on, 2 men out. And he drops the breaking ball in there for a strike.
That's the first one that he has thrown for a strike. That's what has put him in this situation, trying to be too fine with the first pitches in the last couple of bats.
Yanks ahead 1-0, and Kevin Millar trying to turn that around. Ooh, took the fastball to the outside. Strike 2. Millar, who is hitting .323 with men in scoring position, but also has not hit that well in the month of July. This has been his down month, hitting only .213 here in July. And he's quickly behind in the count 0-2. He missed badly with that curveball. 1-2.
Not a bad situation there to miss badly. I think what he's trying to do, like he did with the first pitch, is to set up that backdoor sinker once again. Maybe get his infield involved with the ground ball somewhere.
One and two the count. Garcia Parra, Ramirez, and Ortiz ready to go in anything. Shallow left center. Bernie Williams calls off Matsui. And that's the inning. So the Red Sox with a threat, but leave them loaded. Matsui coming up when we return. 1-0 Yankees.
Push the limits of DVD with Daredevil.
What do you want?
Justice. See 360-degree views of fight sequences. Explore the many dimensions of Shadow World. And discover secret special effects.
You're holding back. Don't.
This DVD gives you all 5 senses.
You want a rematch?
Take DVD to the limit. Own Daredevil Tuesday. Let's play.
We're at Fenway Park in Boston, and that's Johnny Pesky's foul pole. And look at that. People have been autographing that pole. Well, after Nomar got hit in the hand, Derek Lowe's first pitch to Godzilla right into his kitchen. Right into Godzilla's kitchen.
By design? Absolutely. This is hardball between these two teams. Oh, you got to throw him out.
Well, he's issuing a warning. Kevin Kenner, the plate umpire, has warned Derek Lowe, and he has warned both dugouts.
Well, by rules, if you think there was intention, come on now. There was definitely intention there. That was way too obvious, and you can see the frustration on the part of Derek. He had the first shot. They were going to give him that. But when he missed with it, now you better go back to pitching. I think any of the other veteran umpires out there would have sent Mr. Lowe to the showers.
So 2-0 to Matsui. So you don't think that last one just got away from him?
Well, you tell me.
Yeah, you have to pitch this guy inside.
That ball was inside to Jorge Posada in the on-deck circle.
3-1 the count.
Pedro paying attention. He knows all about that.
Pedro, who hit both Soriano and Jeter to start a ball game 3 weeks ago in New York. And there's second baseman Walker throwing out Matsui. This was July the 7th at Yankee Stadium, what we're talking about, as Soriano was the first batter. And then Jeter was the second hitter.
Well, I'll tell you what set all of that up. Earlier in that series, as we look at Derek Jeter going to the hospital for x-rays, earlier in that series, Kevin Millar was at home plate, and he had one right underneath his chin from Roger Clemens. I sat down after that game with Pedro, had a little bite to eat. We were talking about it. And I said, what'd you think about what happened with the Rocket and Millar out there? And he just smiled. He just had that twinkle in his eye like, I will take care of business. And, of course, he did.
Here's Posada. And the breaking ball misses off the outside. So you can communicate with your fellow pitching brethren just by the looks on their face.
And sometimes a little smile. If I see some teeth, I know that something's going on.
So, I mean, because they know you and how you pitched in your career, then they can make those little knowing little facial expressions, and they know that you'll know exactly what they mean.
And you know, when Roger Clemens drilled Melvin Moore after he tried that bunt, remember that with 2 outs and nobody on? Everybody knew that.
The other day.
What happened in the very next inning? 2 outs, nobody on. Giambi gets smoked by Sidney Ponson. What'd Giambi do? He threw the bat down, ran to first. He knew it was coming. That's the way the game of baseball has always been played.
So how did you feel about what Lowe did? I mean, if your guy gets hit, isn't the code? I mean, you're supposed to hit the other guy, aren't you?
He missed it. I mean, we remember when Sean Estes was supposed to hit Roger Clemens, and nothing happened there. Nobody feels worse than the guy on the mound. But it's not over with. Derek will get an opportunity. Even though they've been warned, he just can't be as obvious as he was with Matsui. You get him with a hard breaking ball, or you get him with something straight. You got to protect your superstars, though. You want to be a #1 type pitcher, as Derek Lowe and Pedro Martinez are. You got to be like that enforcer in hockey. I mean, when the star goes down, that's when you're supposed to hit the ice.
Like Tiger Williams, Dave Schultz, Dave the Hammer Schultz,
Kelly Chase.
Right.
Those guys, like you, tough guys. Torrey knows all about
tough
this.
guy, but if somebody asks you what you were doing afterward, it always turns out that you weren't doing it.
Well, it cost you more money. That's just flat stupid.
So the Red Sox and the Yankees, a little bad blood. I mean, is this over with? I mean, nobody in the Yankees has been hit, right? Nomar got a hit. He threw at the guy a couple of times. Now they've issued warnings. Is it over? Is it over if nobody's been hit?
No, there's people down in the bullpen right now that are licking their chops for Boston, saying, hey, if I get an opportunity, I'll take care of it. And you know who in the back of his mind is thinking, I'm going to get it again. It was Boston's shortstop that got hit.
So Jeter.
Yep.
Nick Johnson, base hit to left field. Joe Torre said before the game, although Bernie Williams has struggled with the bat since he came back, Johnson has come back from the disabled list, and he's hitting just as if nothing ever happened.
Oh, he's such a good eye. He's so patient. Take a look at what's happening here. He knows when it starts on the outer half, it's going to even have more movement in that direction, so he simply goes with it. Nomar was cheating up the middle. The double play was in order, and all Nick Johnson did was play pepper with Manny Ramirez in left field.
Joe Torre, Yankee manager, and some feeling maybe a little more heat. The urgency to win this year, perhaps more than in any other year since his first year with the Yankees. No swing there by Ventura.
Take a look at the check swing here. Let's see if he went around. The fans seem to think that he did. I also agree that I thought he did. But you're sitting next to a pitcher tonight instead of that Hall of Fame everyday player you're normally with.
Ventura bloops a foul off the left field line. Well, you know, when we see him in slow motion, it almost always looks like they swing. I mean, it's very rare where the guy did not look like he swung. Maybe we need they have the computerized system, the Questec, to help the umpires with their strike zone, right?
Well, I like
maybe we need something to help them with their check swing calling.
We could volunteer our K-zone for that and our replays for that. I mean, Questec's going out of business from what I read, right? K-zone's still going strong.
Are you kidding? K-zone is here, man.
I know it.
This is the future. This is cutting edge.
We've been trying to tell them. Kurt Schilling's never had a problem with our K-zone.
Ventura over to Millard, and the runners will advance. Posada to third, Johnson to second. 2 down.
He's going to be there most of the time, that being Derek Lowe. Likes to start it out, as Greg Maddux says, to be what looks like a strike. I mean, on 55 feet of the time that ball was in the air, it looked like it was in the strike zone, and then it became a ball, and it became an easy out. You can turn that around, too. Maddux talks about how you want to throw a pitch that looks like a ball and then ends up a strike. And over the last 15 years, no one has done it better than the Mad Dog.
Although Maddux apparently threw a few too many strikes today that looked like strikes and were strikes, because he had an 8-4 lead and was not able to hold it.
What's going on with that Brave bullpen? And I take John Smoltz out of it.
That is Millar, and he retires Mondesi unassisted. The Yankees leave 2 men on base. Now to the last of the second inning, Trot Nixon, Bill Miller, Jason Varitek, 1-0 Yanks.
I've made a lot of news on the baseball diamond, but if you want to find out about this diamond, you've got to go talk to your doctor.
Ready to try Viagra for the first time? See your doctor and find out if a free sample's right for you.
My doctor says it's right for me. That's why I stay with it. For more information, go to Viagra.com.
Fenway Park, Sunday night baseball. The Yankees won, the Red Sox nothing. Last of the second inning. Jeff Weaver got out of the bases loaded jam in the first on this pitch to Kevin Millar.
Well, we talked about it. He wanted a sinker on the outside corner, but when he missed with this pitch, he was aggressive with it. It was over the heart of the plate. It was very hittable for Kevin Millar, but by getting ahead in the count with the first pitch being a strike, he kind of took the sting out of the swing of Millar. He got a protective swing, and he got out of the inning. He starts this inning right where he started the last one off, by falling behind people.
Ball 1 to Trot Nixon, 17 homers, 63 runs batted in. The third ball is a foul on the right field line. 1 ball, 1 strike to Nixon. Now he's hitting 7th in the order, and his average is .324. He's one of 4 Red Sox hitters with batting averages better than .320. The last time there was a team that had 4 guys who finished the year hitting over .320 was 1950. The team was the Red Sox. On the inside with a strike there. 1 ball, 2 strikes.
Everybody's been looking for that breakout year by Trot Nixon, and I think this is it. His RBIs have gone up the last 4 years, and you can see the location of that pitch has gone down for Jeff Weaver.
Popped him up. Bernie Williams in shallow center. And that is out number 1. Time now for our Nextel poll question. Which ball club has the best offense? The Boston Red Sox. They lead the major leagues in runs. The Blue Jays are next. The Yankees are pretty efficient. Now they've got their whole lineup back. But over in the National League, the Atlanta Braves and the St. Louis Cardinals are scoring a ton of runs. And they don't have the designated hitter.
I've got to go with the Atlanta Braves. How about what they did in Montreal the last 3 games, and they've lost 2 out of 3.
They scored 33 runs, including 10 today. And the Expos won 2 out of 3 from them, beat them 13-10 today. Greg Maddux staked to an 8-4 lead. And when he left, he had given up 6 runs, given a couple of home runs, and then the bullpen got shelled. Braves and Expos are not finished yet, by the way, in that series. They're going to play again tomorrow, right here on ESPN at the Stade Olympique.
I would imagine that General Manager John Schuerholz is not finished as well. Got to be looking for some help as far as those setup people are concerned with John Smoltz.
You see out on the hand-operated scoreboard in the left field wall at Fenway, they have the National League out-of-town scores being posted again. That is a called strike on the inside to Bill Miller. 2 balls, 2 strikes. There's a look from K-zone with the 2-inch delineation there.
And even after he was knocked down, you could see how Posada wanted to come right back on that inside corner, and he was able to do that. That's important because both teams have been warned, and most hitters are going to say, all right, I'll eliminate that fastball in. If they throw it in and it hits me, they're going to be thrown out of the ball game. So you would expect guys to be looking out over the plate, diving more, hitting the ball the opposite field.
Bernie Williams back into left center, and that is out number 2. Bill Miller, we mentioned, hitting .329. He's also hit 34 doubles. 34 doubles already.
And that's the biggest thing that has surprised everybody. They knew the on-base percentage would be there. They knew the defense at third base would be there. They knew that his winning type style of play, which he learned in San Francisco, you're well familiar with that, John, was going to happen. But these extra base hits have even surprised the Boston Red Sox people.
So 2 down. Here's Jason Varitek. And first ball swinging right to Soriano. And the inning is over just like that. For the Red Sox, down in order. We're heading to the 3rd inning, the top of the order. Soriano, Jeter, and Jason Giambi. Giambi's homer, the only run of the game so far. The Yanks won. The Red Sox nothing after 2. John Miller and Rick Sutcliffe with you on Sunday Night Baseball from Fenway. Yankees won. The Red Sox nothing as we start the 3rd inning. And the Yankees will come up at the top of their batting order. Alfonso Soriano, Derek Jeter, and Jason Giambi against Derek Lowe. The only run of the game, a home run by Jason Giambi. Oh, a sharp breaking ball. Soriano, who does not go up there to look at a whole lot of pitches.
There's not anybody more aggressive than Soriano is. He has not only been good in the past, he's going to continue to get better, and it's going to be that way for a long time.
Well, there was a possibility of rain tonight here at Fenway, and a little bit of moisture has hit the air here above Fenway Park.
You know, normally the fans will start heading towards shelter, but I haven't seen anybody move here.
Man, that's a sharp, hard breaking ball.
There's a lot of movement there. You know that. The whole league knows it. But if you make a mistake and you get it to where he can reach it, Soriano's going to hit that ball a long, long ways. He thinks his strike zone is from dugout to dugout, I believe, at times.
That's a big strike zone. Well, he got away with one right there, it looked like. 1 ball and 2 strikes. By the way, we asked our Nextel poll question. Rick Sutcliffe weighed in. He thought Atlanta has the best offense. What do you think? You can log on to ESPN.com to vote, or you can also vote with your Nextel phone. Let us know what you think. Toronto Blue Jays have pretty nice offense. But Carlos Delgado hit his 30th homer today. He's got 105 RBIs. And in the same lineup, Vernon Wells has got 28 homers and 93 RBIs. same team. Struck him out. He got the sharp one back, and Soriano just couldn't resist. It's the 85th time that he has struck out.
And a lot of times it's going to be on the exact same pitch. You try to make it look like a strike as long as you can. And, you know, when you've got as big a bat as Soriano uses, and you got a guy on the mound that throws as hard as Derek Lowe does, you got to get it started to hit that fastball. And he just got caught cheating on all 3 of those strikes.
So you think the fact his bat's a little heavier than most guys use maybe worked against him? Chasing that pitch?
I do, and I just think he wants to swing. He does not want to walk.
Well, I don't understand how he's walked 26 times. I'm seeing that. He's walked 26. He struck out 85. Jeter fouling one back. Jeter grounded out to shortstop his first time. By the way, we were talking about the Braves and their hitting, and they have all those guys you think of right away, like Gary Sheffield, Chipper Jones, Andrew Jones, Javi Lopez. Today, Marcus Giles tied a major league record with 4 doubles in the same game in Montreal.
I saw where Robert Fick hit 2 home runs in that ball game today.
And he's hitting over 300. Down and away. 1 ball, 1 strike to Jeter. Jeter, who still has some pain on his right hand from where he got hit by Pedro 3 weeks ago. I saw him before the game, and he reached his left hand out to shake my hand. He said, I don't shake anybody's hand with my right hand. I haven't anyway for the last 3 weeks.
No, and one of the players, while they were stretching, came up from behind and grabbed him, just kind of joking around, and they touched that sore hand. And I mean, Derek just basically snapped on it. Hey, not there. Leave that alone. So it's still tender, and you know Nomars is going to be sore for the next week or 2.
2-2 now to Jeter.
That's the one thing, John, excuse me, that really amazes me about these 2 catchers here, Posada and Varitek. It's so important for them, to the teams, to be in the lineups. And you think about the balls in the dirt, you think about the collisions at home plate. Well, how about the foul tips they take off those throwing hands?
Yeah, who do they go to for retribution?
Hey, he foul tipped one off my hand.
Get him.
You got to protect me.
3-2 the count. There's Jorge Posada. Certainly got a lot of bumps and bruises. That's a fair ball, and it's a base hit for Jeter. The best hope there for Bill Miller was that one would go foul, but it popped right over the bag in fair ground. Marvin Hudson right there to make the call at third base.
That's part of that winning type baseball we talked about with Bill Miller. You saw it in San Francisco a lot, John. There are a lot of guys, and Soriano would be one of them. He's still going to let that go. He still thinks he can make every play. Well, Bill Miller knows that. His momentum's going in the wrong direction, and he also knew before the pitch was even thrown who the base runner was going to be. Jeter's just way too quick to get him.
Last year, Hillenbrand made 23 errors around this time of the year. Miller has committed 9 errors and only 1 on a throw. Here's Giambi, who launched a home run. And that's a called strike on the inside.
He's still coming in. Both of these pitchers are, and that's very, very important. Look at him painting the very top of the K zone and also doing it on the inside corner. Giambi, like everybody else, looking away and diving.
1 strike to count. Jeter back to the bag at first. That's a 1-0 game. You've got a slugger and a left-handed slugger up there. Is this a spot where Jeter might look to steal a base?
I don't. I would sit here and watch what Jason does. Hope that he can extend that lead. If he does not, then I might consider taking off when Bernie comes up.
Just in case. Lowe tries to keep Jeter close over there with Giambi up there, the left-handed hitter. You got that hole open a little bit more with Millar playing on the bag against Jeter. There's Bernie Williams, a switch hitter. He's on deck. All the other infielders are playing Giambi to pull, as you see. 1 ball, 1 strike.
You can almost predict that. I mean, we've been around the game a long time. When he throws over twice, more times than not, what a pitcher is telling you, he's trying to keep you close so he can throw an off-speed pitch. and that's what he did. He threw a breaking ball that looked to be a strike. It was close to the plate, but honestly, that's one of the things that Jason Giambi is so talented, but he's also intelligent.
He rips that one foul into the seats. It got there in a hurry. A ball and 2 strikes.
There's the one thing that Derek Lowe added, that cut fastball. Jason was looking for movement. Watch, he's looking for movement away from him. And what happened? It actually comes down and in on him, and that's why he opened up on that pitch so much. That's the one pitch Derek Lowe last year added to become a starting pitcher. He said, I just don't have the mentality to be a closer.
He did a great job in his first year as a starter, that's for sure. And that is strike 3. The sinker came back over the inside corner.
Borderline. You don't see Jason Giambi argue very often. He did not argue here. Take a look at where Varitek is setting up. I think what made that call, you can see where it was borderline to begin with. Watch where Varitek catches it. Take a look at where the ball comes into. It actually comes into the webbing, so he can keep the heel of the glove more so on the inside corner, and that's what they call framing a pitch. You get the benefit of the doubt. You get a huge out here in just the 3rd inning.
2 down. Jeter still at first. Here's Bernie Williams. He grounded out his first time. And Jeter back to the bag.
Well, just take a look. Look at where the heel of the glove is. Watch where it stays. See how, look at that right there. See how it is even more so. The ball was acceptable as far as the line is concerned, but the heel is still in the box. That's why you get those calls. That's why these pitchers want guys like Varitek and Posada back there every single day.
2 down. Jeter at first. And Bernie laid off that one inside. 1 ball and no strikes. Bernie Williams. And when he gets rolling, and Joe Torre said Bernie's not one of those guys who just starts to bring his average up a little bit at a time. He says when Bernie gets going, it all comes at once. 3 hits today, 4 hits tomorrow, and there he goes. But it has not come just yet for Bernie.
Joe said that Bernie can go from awful to awesome in a hurry. He has more ways to say things than anybody I've ever been around. I got to play for Joe Torre in 1994. He was the same way then. He just has a lot more talent to deal with now. Look at those numbers.
Well, he's been awesome a lot under Joe Torre. Won a batting title in 1998. They pitch out, but Jeter not running. 2-1. What is he going to run now that they pitched out?
He's got the green light. He's taking a long look at Willie Randolph, but there's nothing there for him to look at. You're not going to hit and run with 2 outs. You're told by the manager, you want to go, you can go. That's different with Jeter. Joe Torre's talking about Soriano. When he gives him the, get a jump, go if you want, he might as well give the automatic steal because that kid's gone.
Jeter not running. Bernie toward the middle. Todd Walker, and it pulled him off the bag. Nomar stretched out, tried to keep his foot on, couldn't quite do it. Almost a great play, and instead a base hit for Bernie Williams.
Well, the one knock that's always been on Todd Walker is his lack of range. Well, you can forget about that here. You can forget about a lot of things in a series in a ball game as big as this. Look at where he starts. Take a look at how far he gets. Look at that. He was even leaning the other way. He catches up with it. He knows with Jeter he's got to get rid of it in a hurry. But the key to that play to me, take a look at Dana DeMuth. Look at him hustling to get the best possible angle as to whether Nomar's foot stayed on the bag or not. It was an easy call when he saw the ball come out of the glove, but look at the hustling that was going on by a guy that's been in the big leagues 19 years.
Now Matsui, and that one just misses inside.
It's Pedro's buddy out there, Dana.
They got into it on Friday, and Joe Torre said afterward he believed that maybe Pedro the only pitcher in baseball who would not have been ejected doing what he did to DeMuth. Johnny Damon grabs it on the bounce. Jeter heading home. The throw is going to be too late. And so the Yankees add a run. Hideki Matsui, who's been great in the clutch, comes up with another RBI. He's hitting .336 for the year with men in scoring position. 2-0 Yankees.
Well, he's probably their best situational type hitter. And what I mean by that is when it calls for an extra base hit, he tries to get that. It didn't here. It just called for a base hit anywhere because of the speed of Derek Jeter. He got a ball up. He put a good swing on it. He didn't try to pull it. Stayed inside of it. Absolutely nothing Johnny Damon could have done there. Another run for the Yankees.
So 2 infield singles. That's how the Yankees got it set up for Matsui's single to center. Now Posada, and they try to get more. Too low. 1 ball, no strikes. Posada walked his first time. 2-0. The Yanks ahead. Jeter got the inning started with that little chop down the third base side. It was just barely fair. And Bernie Williams got the 2-out infield single with Jeter just barely safe at second base. Dug out of the dirt by Varitek. And a new ball will be put into play. 2 balls, no strikes.
This is a little bit of a sign of the old Derek Lowe. A guy that after he gives up a couple of hits would start being a little bit too fine. You see the pitch count there. You'd like to have a lot more strikes than balls. But you got to give some credit to the patience of the Yankees. They know how to win. They know the key is getting the starting pitcher out of the game, have somebody come in other than a setup or closer type guy, and then they just pound them.
Bernie Williams at second, Matsui at first. And now it is 3-0.
There he is again. This is the old Derek Lowe here, starting to overthrow that breaking ball, trying to be too fine with the sinking fastball. They've gotten 2 infield hits. I mean, that's your strength is getting ground balls. Continue throwing that sinker, get another ground ball. Just hope this one's at somebody.
Well, he misses again and missed by plenty. And now the bases are loaded. A 4-pitch walk to Posada. And here's Dave Wallace, the acting pitching coach.
Exactly. And talking with Grady Little, the manager, he wanted to pass along great news for everybody. Tony Cloninger, the pitching coach for the Boston Red Sox, is cancer-free now. He's been gone for a while. He's been under some extreme treatments. But now it's the maintenance treatments he's going to have every month. They expect him back in just a couple of months. And like Grady said, and everybody else in that clubhouse, they can't wait to get Tony back.
Good news in regards to Tony Cloninger. Cloninger, who was an outstanding big league pitcher and a great hitter who once drove in 9 runs in a game. And he was the pitcher. Hit 2 grand slams in a game at Candlestick Park in San Francisco. And formerly coached for the Yankees, moved over here. He was the bullpen coach. Mel Stottlemyre was the pitching coach when he was in New York. Now the pitching coach for the Red Sox. And everybody very concerned about the well-being of Cloninger, so it sounds like very good news indeed.
As we were with Mel last year. And I was talking with Mel before the game about the difference in his treatment and that of Tony's. And he said it's a different type of cancer.
Jim Brewer here. Going to show you how the new Right Guard Extreme Power Caps work. Power Caps are little balls of extra odor fighters. Let's say these guys represent odor, and the balls my friend Randy Johnson has here represent the Power Caps. Power Caps destroy odors on contact. Get extreme, get Right Guard. You do not want to be odor right now. Oh!
Hi, everybody. Trey Wingo in our baseball studios here at ESPN. A little power problem up in Boston. We'll get you out to Sunday Night Baseball between the Yankees and the Red Sox in just a little bit. But meanwhile, sit back and enjoy some great afternoon baseball that I have to share with you as we take you through the major leagues this afternoon. Happy birthday, Alex Rodriguez. 28th, Rangers and Mariners. And he celebrates in fine fashion. Randy Wynn with a deep drive to right center field for a 2-run homer. Wins 6 of the season, 2-0 Seattle. Then we move to the 3rd inning. Rangers down 2-0. Doug Glanville hits the high pitch from Freddie Garcia down the left field line for a double. Next batter is Michael Young, and Michael Young, manufacturing runs. He's so great in the field as well. Bunt single. Next batter is Hank Blaylock, and Blaylock with the more conventional single to right field. Doug Lamb will score. 2-1 Seattle. Next batter, no outs. A-Rod celebrating. Told you would. Single to left. Now bases loaded. Next batter, Rafael Palmeiro with a soft liner to right. 1-run scores to tie the game at 2. After a sac fly by Mark Teixeira, made it 3-2 Rangers. Jason Jones, it's a ground ball to short. Carlos Guillen throws it. That's not what he had in mind. Throws it into the dugout, 2-run score, 5-2 Texas. Bottom 7, John Thompson pitching well with a 6-3 lead, and Edgar Martinez still struggling since being hit in the head in the All-Star game. Thompson 8 innings, 3 earned runs, 7 Ks, 5 walks. Rangers going to win this one 7-3. Blaylock a big day, 2 RBI, 2 walks, 3 for 5. Garcia takes the loss. He falls under 500. Win 2 for 4 with 3 RBI, and Mike Cameron 2 for 4 with a run scored. But the A's and the Angels, Ken Maka and Oakland coming in with a 3-game winning streak, and Scott Hatterberg trying to keep that going. Deep out and gone, number 8 of the year for Hatterberg off Ramon Ortiz, 1-0 Oakland. Hatterberg again to Ortiz, and this would be a drive or a matchup all day that would really favor Scott Hatterberg. His second home run of the game. Oakland cruising again as they're trying to get closer and closer to Seattle. I have no idea what Tim Hudson's doing there. Bottom 6, David Eckstein off of Hudson, hits it to second. That's a 4-6-3 double play. 2 outs and 2 pitches. Next batter, Darren Erstad, flailing. 6-pitch inning for Tim Hudson. Perhaps the look worked well for him. Anderson, though, will rip it deep to right. Garrett, though, is robbed by Terrence Long, making a great catch, and he appreciates the help. Knows he got away with one. Bottom 9, 2 outs. Hudson still going and gets Benji Gill for the complete game. A's win this one 10-1. 4 hits, 1 run, 6 strikeouts for Hudson as he improves to 9-4. Ortiz falls to 12-8. Courtesy highlight, Adam Kennedy had a home run 7 of the season for the Angels. Phillies and Marlins. Hello, Kevin Millwood. On the hill. This has turned into a pretty good little race here for the National League wild card. Webb Gem nominee here, Miguel Cabrera, lines it to Millwood. Field your position. Take another look. The jungle cat reflexes that are Kevin Millwood. Bottom 4, 6-4 Phils. Okay, they were good until this play. Alex Gonzalez lines it off the glove. The arm single for Alex Millwood, though, stays in the game. 3 batters later, 6-5 Phils. Luis Castilla with a gapper into right center. No one's getting to that all the way to the wall. Ramon Castro scores with an RBI triple for Castillo, and we got us a brand new ball game tied up at 6. Bottom 8, runners first and second still tied at 6. Mike Lowell singles to left, and Juan Pierre's going to try to test the arm of Pat Burrell. I am Pat Burrell! Do not test me! Pierre can't believe it. You're out and stay tied. Take a look at the replay, though. Home plate umpire Paul Schreiber in perfect position. A very close call, but he's out. Bottom 9, 2-on-1. Pierre with some redemption, though. Call this out, will you? Singles to left. Miguel Cabrera this time will beat Pat Burrell's throw. Marlins sweep. They win at 7-6, and they are now within 2 games of the Phillies for the National League wild card. What a great story the Marlins have been under Jack McKeon so far this year. Mike Lowell, another solid day. 3 for 4, his 29th home run, and 2 RBI. Happy to report that power apparently has been restored at Fenway, so of course we want to restore your coverage of the game. Yankees and Rangers, we send you back out there. Guys, take it away.
Se refiere no solo eso. García Parra fue golpeado en su primer turno. Tiene promedio en su carrera contra los Yankees de 333. En un mínimo de 200 turnos. Solamente Alex Rodríguez tiene mejor promedio que él. A-Rod batea 335 a los Yankees.
Aquí no se puede dar el lujo de quedarse atrás en la cuenta frente a García Parra porque lo va a hacer pagar.
Yeah, of course, I think with Ted Williams, they'd say, hey, only 8 teams in the American League in those days. It certainly wasn't watered down.
The 2-0 to Garcia Parra inside ball 3. The early part of Root's career
was not a high-scoring era. The end of Ruth's career was a high-scoring era in the late 20s and early 30s.
Yeah, one of the big differences was 1919 and earlier, it was a low-scoring game. They outlawed the spitball in 1919. And
all right, just to update you what's going on, we've established the feed, and the audio you're listening to is Major League Baseball on ESPN Radio between the Yankees and the Red Sox up at Fenway. Jeff Weaver on the hill, and Derek Lowe going for the Yankees. So let's listen in to Dan Shulman and Dave Campbell on ESPN Radio's coverage of the television pictures you're now seeing between the Yankees and the Red Sox. We're making it all work for you.
Sunday Night Baseball here on ESPN Radio and now TV as well. Runner at first, one out as Weaver comes set. And the 3-1 pitch with a runner going is fouled back. Now a full count on Nomar.
Well, again, Nomar has been swinging the bat very well of late. 400 in his last 11 games. He had a pretty good swipe at a 3-1 pitch there. Doesn't strike out a lot, so you figure Walker would be running again here.
The rubber match of this 3-game series. The Yankees got a run in the first on a Giambi homer, a run in the third on a Matsui RBI single, and it's 2-0 New York. Bottom of the third. Runner at first, one out. Full count on Nomar. Walker the lead, and he draws a throw back in there, but ahead for a slide. Jeff Weaver and Derek Lowe is the pitching matchup here tonight.
Well, Todd Walker's job here is do not get picked off. You are not running to steal a base. You're running to create an extra hole for Nomar and stay out of the double play if it's hit on the ground.
Walker the lead off first as Nomar waits. Weaver comes set. There goes the runner. 3-2 pitch, a swing and a ground ball down to third. Charged by Ventura. His only play is to first, and they'll get Garcia Parra 2 down as Walker moves into second.
Yeah, that ball was hit probably slowly enough that even if Walker had not been running, I don't think the Yankees were going to turn 2.
Now Manny Ramirez comes up. They've got a base open. But it's a pretty dangerous left-handed batter on deck, so we'll see how much Jeff Weaver wants to pitch to Manny Ramirez here. He walked Ramirez in the first inning right after he hit Nomar. And Ramirez in his career against Weaver, 5 for 14 with a couple of home runs off him. And 25 home runs on the season for one of the best hitters in the game, Manny Ramirez. The pitch, a check swing by Ramirez, and he takes it outside, ball 1. Outfielders are deep. 2 outs and a runner at second. 2-0 Yankees here in the bottom of the third in front of another packed house at Fenway Park. And as is always the case here, the crowd buzzing from the moment this game begins, especially with the hated Yankees providing the opposition. A check of the runner out at second base by Weaver, and the 1-0 to Ramirez, and it comes in low, ball 2. And now a new baseball will be put into play as that one grazed the dirt just before Posada scooped it up.
I don't think I have seen a more technically sound hitter than Manny Ramirez, from the stance to the balance to pitch selection to utilizing the entire field and the weight transfer. He does everything as well as it could be diagrammed.
The defending batting champion in the American League. He is 5th in that department this year. 2-0 the count. Weaver works, and the pitch swung on and hit in the air left field. Matsui backing up. He's got a room in front of the track as he makes the catch that ends the inning. No runs, a base hit, a man left. We are through 3 at Fenway. Yankees 2, Red Sox nothing. You're listening to Sunday Night Baseball presented by Nextel on ESPN Radio.
Now to the 4th inning from Fenway Park. I'm John Miller with Rick Sutcliffe. Sunday Night Baseball. And for our audience who had been viewing the game on ESPN Deportes with Ernesto Jerez and Roberto Clemente Jr. today, because we had a power outage, we have been moved over, and we are doing both at the same time now. There's a base hit on a broken bat there by Robin Ventura against Derek Lowe, the 6th hit of the game for the Yankees.
Right fielder, number 43.
So we apologize for the technical difficulties we've had to endure.
Well, there's not only been a power outage as far as we're concerned, the exception of Jason Giambi, there's been a power outage here. Most of the ground balls, totaling up to 6 now tonight off of Derek Lowe, have been just like that via the ground ball.
Here's Raul Mondesi. Mondesi grounded out to first his first time. And it is 0-1. So for those who've been watching on the ESPN Deportes, expecting to get the call of Ernesto and Roberto Clemente Jr. Lo siento mucho, pero our telecast now will be in inglés solamente. That's a foul. 2 strikes to Mondesi.
¿Cómo está?
No, inglés solamente.
Oh,
come on.
Okay, tú comprendo.
Yeah. So you played winter ball down in
a lot.
The Caribbean?
Loved it. Started in Mexico, played 2 years in the Dominican Republic, played 1 year in Venezuela, and wouldn't you know it, during high school, I took French. But I'm going to Montreal tomorrow.
Yeah, how come they never put any winter ball teams in Martinique?
There might be a weather problem. No weather problem here tonight, though.
0-2 the count to Mondesi. We had just the little tiny bit of moisture that we saw earlier in the night, but nothing more. Beautiful, warm, muggy evening in Boston. Soriano on deck. Just missing off the outside. 1 ball, 2 strikes. Mondesi, the 9th place hitter, who has 16 home runs this year, 23 doubles. And he started the year swinging the bat real well. He's cooled off considerably since then. Ventura, the runner at first. Oh, great sinker, struck him out.
Got ahead in the count. Take a look at how he finishes him off, as he does most people, down below the zone. And that's all that is. That is just a fastball putting down by Jason Varitek behind home plate, and Derek Lowe has the ability to take it from there. You can't teach that. That's just a God-given gift that Derek Lowe, Kevin Brown, Matt Clement, guys like that have.
So you mean the ability to make a ball do that? Just certain guys have any kind of capability to do that?
It's just something that they have. You can grip the ball exactly like Derek Lowe does. A lot of the guys in the minor league system with Boston have tried that. They tried it with Seattle. It doesn't work. There's just something mechanically and about how he releases it, what he does with his fingers and wrist right at the end, that provide that.
Soriano to second. Walker to Garcia-Parra, 1 to first, 2. Soriano grounds into a double play. Now the Red Sox coming up. Ortiz, Millar, and Trot Nixon. The Yankees lead 2-0.
Tonight on SportsCenter, was Pedro getting preferential treatment Friday? LeBron James runs with some real NBA competition, and when Ray Lewis talks, you will listen. It's the Sunday Conversation in SportsCenter after the game on ESPN.
Put away the sunblock. Football's back. Halfway around the globe, the Jets have landed, and the Bucs are through basking in Super Bowl glory. 2 of the game's fiercest leaders ready their squads for battle. Jets, Bucs, 8 p.m. Saturday on ESPN.
ESPN Sunday Night Baseball. We're at Fenway Park. The Red Sox trailing 2-0 to the Yankees. Jeff Weaver to David Ortiz, and that is too low. 1 ball and no strikes. Ortiz, yesterday's hero, as a pinch hitter. You know, pinch hitters yesterday were getting it done, especially for the Yankees. Joe Torre had 3 different pinch hitters who all got hits to help them fuel a comeback. And then Ortiz got the winning hit as a pinch hitter for the Red Sox in the 9th inning. I know one writer, I think Michael G. with the Boston Herald, made the comment today, that usually indicates the bullpen not getting it done when pinch hitters are doing that well. Oh, tough pitch there. And Weaver has been getting it done so far tonight.
Really settled down. He got himself in a lot of trouble in the 1st inning. He hit Nomar, probably by design. Walked the next 2 guys, but was able to get out of that jam. It's been pretty simple for him since that point.
1-2 the count. Look out. And Ortiz shot what looked like an angry, icy stare out at Weaver.
Well, the reason for that is he was almost undressed there. He's looking away. He's figuring, like every other hitter, nothing's going to happen on the inside. Ortiz is a guy that'll come get you, though.
That's a foul. Those got to be great. See, there no other ballpark has seats quite like those down just behind third base, right out next to the field like that.
You better pay attention.
I mean, you're in the game if you sit down there. 2-2 the count to Ortiz. Millar on deck. And he fouled that one back. Another breaking ball from Jeff Weaver. Well, Weaver's been trying to establish himself. This could be a night for him to do it.
Well, take a look at the swing here. Look at that. I mean, that's a pitch that was up that Ortiz could have handled. That's the swing he had before yesterday's game when he did some early work with the Red Sox hitting coach. Again, the same kind of thing. What Ron Jackson was trying to explain to Ortiz is that your back elbow, he says, what you're doing is you're getting it too high because you're trying to elevate everything. You've got to relax that back elbow so that you can stay on top of the baseball and hit things on a line.
And he got the high breaking ball there, fouled it back.
Well, it's easy to do when you're down in the cage and you're hitting early. Another thing Ron Jackson said, he said, nobody this year's worked harder than David Ortiz has. And that's something that we didn't hear a lot of from him as a member of the Minnesota Twins. But Papa Jack trying to get that back elbow relaxed so that he can get to the ball that he's supposed to hit.
This is the 9th pitch of the at-bat, and he pops it up. Alfonso Soriano in shallow right. Backpedaling. And Ortiz is gone. Well, I could see where you could get into that habit when you're a big hulking figure like Ortiz. You're supposed to be hitting home runs.
Ron Jackson was saying he gets so much tension in that back arm because he presses. He said a grown man could actually stand. Look at the tension back there. And what happens when you get strong, you get slow. It's no different throwing a baseball than it is trying to hit it. When a pitcher takes it out of his glove and there's a lot of tension in his arm, that release point is not going to be where he expects it to be.
Kevin Millar. And the count 0-1. Millar, who has struggled through most of the month of July, and he hit a fly ball to shallow left center on what looked like a pretty fat pitch. A mistake, really, by Weaver, and he got away with it with the bases loaded back in the first.
Weaver, like Derek Lowe, is going to get away with more pitches than most because even they can't predict how much movement, John, that they're going to have with their fastball. They can control some of it by changing speeds, but those things just take off. And as a pitcher, if you don't know where it's going to end up, absolutely, a hitter's not going to have any clue. So why wouldn't you be more aggressive? That's been the problem they've had with Jeff Weaver. But
well, I mean, it seemed like he hadn't gotten away with that many mistakes this year.
Because he continues to fall behind. Get ahead in the count.
So that's why he got Millar, because he got ahead of him, and he puts him away. Strike 3 called right here. And that was funny to see Millar taking that pitch.
Well, this is the guy that took his last at bat up to home plate with him. It's an outstanding pitch. It's on the outer half of the plate. Millar looking for more sinking action to that pitch than just the tailing action. Weaver threw it a little bit harder. The velocity kept it at the knees, and he is dealing right now.
And I think that was the pitch he was trying to make to Millar in the first inning.
Yep, absolutely.
And the curveball for a strike to Trot Nixon. Nixon hit a fly ball to shallow center his first time. 2-0. The Yankees are leading. We're in the last of the 4th inning from Fenway Park. I'm John Miller with Rick Sutcliffe. Joe Morgan up in Cooperstown with his fellow Hall of Famers, or as I like to call them, fellow immortals of the game. And our congratulations to Eddie Murray and Gary Carter, formally inducted into the Hall of Fame today. And you know, Eddie is on a short list of guys who had 3,000 hits and 500 homers. And the only other names on that list besides Eddie Murray, Willie Mays and Hank Aaron, and that's it. That's a pretty exclusive club.
What was so many things amazing about Eddie Murray was the fact that he was equally as good from both sides of the plate. I mean, he was a power threat there, and don't overlook his defense. I know you don't. You covered him for a long time. He could play some first base.
He won a couple of Gold Gloves. Well, Nixon is down on strikes on that breaking ball, and Jeff Weaver, the real Jeff Weaver perhaps, has shown up at Fenway tonight. The big hitters coming up for the Yankees.
Is your remote control ready for an endurance test? With MLB Extra Innings, your favorite players, your favorite teams are never more than a click away. Call 1-800-DIRECTV now and get up to 60 out-of-market Major League Baseball regular season games each week with the MLB Extra Innings package from DIRECTV. It's only $109 for the rest of the regular season. All the action you and your remote can handle. Only with MLB Extra Innings. Order now.
Sunday Night Baseball from Fenway Park. The Yankees 2, the Red Sox nothing. And for the Yankees, Derek Jeter will lead off, then Jason Giambi and Bernie Williams. Jeter tonight has grounded a short, and then in the third, he beat out a little chop down the third base line for an infield hit that started a little bit of a rally. He scored the Yankees' second run later in the inning. And Derek Lowe just misses off the outside. 1 ball, no strikes. Yankees 2 runs, 6 hits. The Red Sox no runs and 1 hit. Derek Jeter hitting .318 for the year. That's a foul out of play off to the right.
Yeah, that average for Derek Jeter up over 70 points in just his last 32 ball games. But this is his time of the year. He's a .300 career average hitter every month of the season. But these last 3 months of the season, well, that's when you see him at his best.
Derek Lowe with Jeter up, and then the big sluggers to follow. Jeter up the middle. There's Nomar, and he got it. Nomar kind of with that slinging throw to get Jeter.
You know, they won't admit it, but I throw A-Rod and I throw Miguel Tejada into that class. Don't you think when Jeter hits a ball towards Nomar, he gets a little quicker, he throws it a little harder, he wants it a little bit more? I think it's that way, and it's the other way around when Nomar hits a ball.
Well, I mean, the three of them have been linked almost since they first burst upon the scene, and they did burst upon the scene.
You know who else has burst upon that scene? Don't forget about Renteria. Even though he's in the other league, he has put himself up there in that class.
Giambi bounces a foul, and it is 0-1. Giambi has homered to deep left center, and he's been called out on strikes. Got 29 home runs for the year now. Jason Giambi. Delgado hit his 30th today. He leads the American League. Giambi number 2.
So impressive to me that Jason has only missed 2 games this whole year. Remember that staph infection that he had in both eyes? It was basically up there. He couldn't see. You know, he could see where the ball started out, but any kind of rotation or movement on it, he didn't want anybody else to know about it, but he had absolutely no chance. But he found a way to put himself in the lineup. He knew with Bernie out how important that was going to be. He held his own. That average is down. It has gone up a lot in the past. It won't this year from last year's average, but the power number's still there.
1-2 now to Giambi. Well, Giambi has extraordinary eyesight. I mean, very few people in the world have the kind of eyesight that Jason Giambi has. Although, as Jason says, he believes Barry Bonds probably is right there. That with the physical ability, all the hard work he's put in. But I mean, you know, Ted Williams, he used to talk about when Ted Williams was the best hitter on the planet, that he had extraordinary eyesight, and that he could see things happening with the baseball that a lot of hitters just couldn't see.
And don't you think too, John, that they have to have an idea what to look for? I mean, different release points, a guy that might be tipping his pitches. These guys they seem to pick it up quicker than most other people do. I remember Tony Gwynn with a runner on second. Even if they knew what was coming, Tony didn't want to know. I don't need to know. I'll figure it out when it's on its way.
The year that Barry Bonds hit 73 homers, Tony Gwynn said that in one 4-game series that he saw Bonds play in person, he felt that Bonds was picking up pitches in terms of the type of pitch and where it was going right out of the pitcher's hand. I said, well, how could you tell that from the dugout? He said, well, because he was never fooled on a pitch.
Yeah, you can tell by how they take pitches. They never even start their swing. They know from the beginning it's not going to be anything they want to hit.
He said that Barry would take a pitch in a hitter's count as if the manager had given him the take sign. No tension, no start, no anything. 3-2 to Giambi. Look out, that got him. Got him on the left foot, the back foot. So Lowe, who was ahead of Giambi, 0-2, ends up going 3-2, and then he hits it.
How about Kevin Kelly? He's an umpire that's back there now because the normal member of this crew, Greg Gibson, is on vacation. So they have guys that do AAA games. Kelly has had some major league experience, but he already had to warn both teams. Garcia Parra got hit, and then Lowe went out there and retaliated. He threw 2 pitches behind Matsui. Well, when you warn both benches and somebody gets hit, by rules, they're supposed to go.
No, that's not the case. I mean, that's not the rule.
If there's intent.
Well, that's what they have to determine. But merely hitting a guy does not cause automatic ejection as they get the double play from Bernie Williams. 6-4-3. And we go to the last of the 5th inning. Bill Miller will come up. The Red Sox are trailing the Yankees 2-0.
Now, for a limited time, get the hilarious stories behind some of the funniest scenes ever shot, told by the cast and filmmakers themselves. Beneath the Crust, the ultimate guide to American Pie. Yours free when you buy the American Pie movies Tuesday. Rated R.
There's ball 1 to Bill Miller, leading it off for the Red Sox here in the last of the 5th against Jeff Weaver. And Weaver has been outstanding so far tonight. He's got a 1-hitter going. He got through a tough 2-out jam in the first inning successfully as Miller hits one just foul right past Jerry Lane, the first base umpire. 1 ball, 1 strike to Miller. Bill Miller, who, as Rick Sutcliffe mentioned earlier in our telecast tonight, came up originally with the San Francisco Giants and was an important player on some very strong Giants clubs. He drives that one deep out into Death Valley. Mondesi all the way back, and he makes the catch very close to the spot where Dwight Evans took away a home run from Joe Morgan in the '75 World Series. And that's why they call it Death Valley. That's a home run at Yankee Stadium by several rows.
Well, and it's also an extra base hit with a lot of other right fielders out here. This is a difficult angle to play. You got to not only know where the baseball is going to come down, you got to know where you're at, but John, you got to want to catch that ball. You know you're running out of room. You know it's a hostile environment waiting on you with those fans here in Boston, yet Mondesi makes the play.
Now here's Jason Varitek, and that curveball inside. 1 ball, no strikes to Varitek, who grounded out to second his first time. Well, if Jeff Weaver was pitching at Yankee Stadium, Bill Miller had himself a home run. And instead, he was able to utilize the rather fine talents of Raul Mondesi as an outfielder. Mondesi is, and always has been, a very fine outfielder with a great arm. When Dwight Evans caught that ball against Joe Morgan in the World Series, in that famous Game 6 in '75, he then threw back toward first, and they turned it into a double play. To left field, toward the wall. That one is off the wall. Matsui going over to try and find that carom. Easing into second is Varitek. Just a high, lazy fly that's scraped off the wall.
Well, when you talk about lineups and who the best lineup in baseball is, you got to take a good look at these two. You couldn't blame anybody that would vote for them when you have this kind of power from your 9th spot. Varitek, 17 homers, 62 RBIs on the year, right at 300. Mondesi hitting to ninth for the New York Yankees for Joe Torre. He too with that same kind of power.
And Varitek, even though he tripped coming around first, able to easily make it into second, as Matsui had all kinds of trouble coming up with that carom. There's not a whole lot of room to work for a left fielder along that left field line. The stands come right out very close to the line. Ball 1 to Johnny Damon, the leadoff man. You see how the third base stands cut out right next to the foul line, and there's maybe what 3-4 feet of foul territory along that wall. It goes all the way down into the corner. Johnny Damon 0 for 2. A base hit can mean a run. And Weaver just missed with that one.
Almost like an off day yesterday for Johnny Damon. 5 at-bats, 4 walks. And he was telling me he should have walked 5 times, but he just ran out of patience. And he took a swing at some pitches he shouldn't have.
Joe Torre had Benitez walk him intentionally, even though he knew Ortiz, another lefty, was coming up as a pinch hitter. And that's inside 3-0. Todd Walker on deck. Now, by the way, we're talking about what a great offense the Red Sox have. This, with Damon up there and Varitek at second, is the beginning of the 3rd time through the batting order. When an experienced team like the Red Sox might make some adjustments against Weaver. That's a strike. 3-1.
This is the only guy in the Boston Red Sox lineup tonight that's not hitting over 300 here at home. That being Johnny Damon. He comes in currently at 292. So they have lived this year with big innings. They're looking for another one now.
Red Sox team average at Fenway is 327. Mondesi's going back again. And again, this one will stay in the yard. 380 feet to the wall out near where Mondesi caught that one as Varitek tags up, moves over to third.
You know how they say it's not only how you play, but when you play? Well, you got to put right along with that where you play. Because as you said, it would be 2-0 right now because of the balls hit to Mondesi. You throw in Varitek's double. If you're at New York with that short right field porch, there's all of a sudden a lead for the Red Sox. They're not. They're here at home.
Well, plus if you're a pitcher and a smart pitcher, pitching to the same hitters here versus Yankee Stadium, you might pitch entirely different depending on what ballpark you're in. Here's Todd Walker, who has popped to first and singled. Red Sox looking for that clutch 2-out hit. Nice save by Posada. He saved a run there.
He's just gotten better and better every year. We all know that he was a converted infielder in 1992. Look at him looking for that breaking ball on the outer half of the plate. No chance to dive or get his body in front of it. He just simply came up with it like a former infielder would have. That's like a shortstop going in the hole. After he does that, he's got to go out and try to calm Jeff Weaver down. All 3 balls this inning that have been put in play in the air. His strength is getting ground balls. He's in the 5th inning. He knows he's got to go 5 to get that win. He's got to get another out.
1 ball, no strikes. 2 down, runner at third. Got the call on the inside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Nomar Garcia-Parra would be next. Well, Yastrzemski, who played here all those years, used to call that area in right field, where Mondesi's caught 2 fly balls, Death Valley. And Fred Lynn, who's here tonight, by the way, said the same thing. It was particularly bad the first few weeks of the season. The wind would be blowing in from right field. It'd be cold, miserable, and they talk about all the balls that they would crush into that area that would go nowhere.
I think about Nomar too, and how the first month of the season, it's almost like he's playing on ice skates out there with the conditions, all of the rain.
That's hit hard, but right to Giambi, and Weaver gets through it with a little bit of an assist from Fenway Park itself. Matsui coming up. Yanks lead. John Miller, Rick Sutcliffe with you. Sunday night baseball from Fenway Park. A sellout crowd here for the Yankees and the Red Sox. The Yankees with a 2.5 game lead in the American League East over Boston. And in this, the rubber match of this 3-game series, the Yankees hold a 2-0 advantage as Hideki Matsui, the 5th place hitter, then Jorge Posada and Nick Johnson get ready to bat against Derek Lowe of the Red Sox, an 11-game winner. So here's Matsui, chops one. Lowe can't get to it, and nobody's covering first. Well, it wouldn't have mattered anyway, as it turned out. Lowe, Millar, and Walker all went for that ball.
A little bit surprised that Kevin Millar attempted to go after that. You could see the angle Derek Lowe was taking. He was going to go try to get the baseball, which I think is the right thing. Even though it's not in line with the bag, they want you going towards the bag. It would have been a much easier play if Derek Lowe could have gotten there and Millar would have stayed home. But that's just one of those in-between hops. And, you know, when you got a guy like Matsui, who has played in every single game this year. They deserve hits like that.
That's his second hit. You got a clutch 2-out RBI single to center his last time. Players who's played in every game, including Alex Rodriguez with Texas,
Garrett Anderson,
and Anderson of Anaheim, who's had quite a time at the All-Star game.
Wow, what a show he put on. Miguel Tejada again playing every game.
There's Posada. He bunts foul. Posada has walked twice against Lowe. And that's interesting. With Fenway Park and Posada, who has lots of power, he's hit 19 homers, is bunting.
He's walked already twice tonight. He was just looking to bunt for a base hit. That was not a sacrifice. It's all about team. It's all about on-base percentage and productive outs when you make them. Posada trying to stay out of that ground ball double play. That was one way to do it.
And he gets a ground ball base hit. Nixon in to field it. Matsui stops at second. So Posada with his first hit of the game. You mentioned on-base percentage. Posada with a .404 on-base average before tonight.
Designated hitter.
Well, he got the infield drawn in to where he wanted. First baseman had to stay home. A big gap there because up the middle defensively, they were cheating towards the second base bag. He got the alignment the way he wanted. He looked for a pitch to handle, and there's that on-base percentage.
Here's Nick Johnson. He has singled to left. And then he was thrown out of a beautiful play by Derek Lowe to end the third inning with the bases loaded. That one just misses a little bit low. 1 ball, no strikes. 2 men on, nobody out here. Nick Johnson is hitting .310 for the year. Another guy who's very particular at the plate. Gets a lot of walks. His on-base average .451 coming into this game.
He's always been that kind of guy, even throughout the minor leagues.
That one gets through, and the runners advance. Matsui to third and Posada to second. Varitek. That one sank right through him.
I think what happened, I think Derek Lowe took something off of this and didn't let Jason Varitek know. You could see that when he went down there, he's looking for something a little bit harder that would have carried all the way to him. That fastball just 83 miles an hour on the radar gun. And that would have been an easy ball for him to block. Normally, I think he would have gotten it done. He's going to go out and have a conversation with the pitcher now.
Yeah, so, and if after a pitch like that, the catcher goes out, what does that tell you?
Well, hey, if you're going to do it with somebody. Now, a lot of catchers will tell you, with nobody on, you can change speeds anytime you want. You can go from a fastball to a changeup. You can go from a fastball to anything off speed. You can't do it the other way around because you're going to handcuff me. But with men on base, you can't be doing that because I've got to keep everything in front of me. And I'm just guessing from here, but I believe that's what happened.
Casey Fossum, the left-hander, and Chad Fox, the right-hander, up in the Boston bullpen. The infield is in now for the Red Sox. Big moment here. Johnson trying to knock in some runs, but he hits it right to Todd Walker, who throws Matsui at third, and he throws out Johnson. So Johnson unable to get Matsui home from third.
Normally a real patient guy, but you got to blame him on this pitch. The ball was up where he wanted, but with Derek Lowe, you got to stay inside of it. You got to go the opposite field normally to hit the ball in the air. He tried to pull it. He rolled over on it. And because Grady Little took a chance and brought that infield in, it's still a 2-0 game.
Now they're going to walk Ventura intentionally with the right-handed batting. Mondesi up next. So Grady Little is hoping to get out of this inning by facing just one more hitter.
That's it. This is a way where you can throw one pitch and get 2 outs. And you've got a guy out there on the mound that when he's right, and for the most part he's been right tonight, he's got a 4-to-1 ground ball ratio as opposed to fly ball. They need another one here, and they need it at somebody.
Well, he has picked up 2 ground ball double plays already in this game.
They both come in the last 2 innings.
You got Soriano, who is a tough man to double up with all of his amazing speed. Soriano ended the 4th with a double play, and then Bernie Williams ended the 5th inning with a double play. Mondesi's another guy who's not easy to double up. He's very fast and real explosive out of that batter's box. So the Red Sox talk it over at the mound now. Varitek's out there, and all the infielders except the first baseman Millar. 3 men on, 1 man out. This is perhaps a key spot in this ball game.
Well, I think it is. I think what Dave Wallace is reminding Derek Lowe is that, don't fall in love with that sinker. Don't just think that you can only get out of the inning with a ground ball double play. Here's a guy who's a free swinger. The next guy, Soriano, a free swinger. Don't forget about that breaking ball on the outer half of the plate or beyond. They will expand the strike zones in these situations.
3 men on, 1 man out. The first baseman, Millar, in very shallow. On to see the third. This could be 2. Bill Miller bobbles the ball, and he'll only get 1 as a run scores. Miller unable to come up with it cleanly, and Matsui came in to score. Posada forced out at third. Ventura to second, and Mondesi reaches on the force out and gets an RBI.
The ball was absolutely smoked. Really a good job by Miller just staying down on it. Take a look at it. I mean, you try to come up with that cleanly, all kinds of bad things could have happened. If you try to force the throw to home plate to get the lead runner, again, bad things could have happened. That was an intelligent play.
So from the get-go, you're saying Miller made the decision, let's just make sure we get somebody out.
Well, if he could have come up with it cleanly, I honestly think the throw would have just gone home in that situation. When he didn't, he had to make sure of getting 1 out.
0-1 to Soriano, who is 0 for 3. He's lined out to second, struck out, and then he grounded into an inning-ending double play in the 4th. The Yanks now lead 3-0. Mondesi getting his 49th RBI of the year on that ground ball. He's at first. Ventura is at second. Both men are going anything with 2 down. And a grab on the short hop there by Varitek. 1 ball, 1 strike. Here's Ventura at second. Most of the infielders here at Fenway are not real complimentary about this infield as well. Although Bill Miller, he never seems to be very critical of anything or anybody. Derek Jeter, who also is cut from that same cloth, but I asked Jeter about the infield. He said it's better than it used to be.
Always being politically correct. And Derek Jeter's comments remind you a lot of his manager, Joe Torre.
Yeah. Or as Jeter calls him, Mr. Torre. Bill Miller, the long throw to first, right there. So the Yankees get just the 1. Now they lead 3-0. Garcia Parra, Manny Ramirez, David Ortiz coming up. Yankees 3, Red Sox nothing. We go to the last of the 6th inning. And we want to thank our partners over at ESPN Deportes, especially Ernesto Jerez and Roberto Clemente Jr. We are in their booth now. Nomar, first ball swinging, and Mondesi, he started staggering under that one as the wind was doing something odd with it, apparently. But he ultimately stayed with it, made the play, 1 out.
Well, it might be the wind and also all of those people yelling at him that kind of balanced. The wind was pushing it towards right field down that line. You get all the fans yelling at him from that corner, it kind of straightens out a little bit on you.
The wind is actually blowing straight out at the moment, which ordinarily in the summer here at Fenway, it's blowing straight out to left field. But there's some rain in the area. That is a ball off the outside to Manny Ramirez, who has walked and flied out to left. Three 3-0. The Yankees lead. Jeff Weaver pitched a beauty so far. That's ball 2. He has only allowed 2 hits, but also he's had to work hard to do it. He's had a lot of deep counts in this game. He's thrown 92 pitches now.
Well, Joe Torre has to be enjoying what he's seeing here. 5 shutout innings put up against the best lineup production-wise in baseball. Joe Torre also wanted to send along his best wishes to Big Ed Walterman, Joe's father-in-law. That's Allie's dad. He had surgery. He's doing real well, and he wanted Big Ed to know that Joe's thoughts and prayers are with him. And we were happy to send along those best wishes.
All right. Always happy to hear that Big Ed is tuned in. That's a strike on the outside. 2-2 to Jeff from Jeff Weaver to Manny Ramirez. Weaver, who got roughed up in his most recent start against the Toronto Blue Jays this past Monday, gave up 5 runs and 11 hits in only 4 1/3 innings to Toronto. Manny pops it up foul. Back out of play. Still 2 balls, 2 strikes to Manny Ramirez.
You know, they've been frustrated with Jeff Weaver. He got traded here last year during the month of July. A lot of ups and downs. The record continued to go up. He won 9 games in '99, then 11, then 13. They look for that trend to continue, but at just 26 years of age, they're not close to giving up on him yet. They may not keep him in the rotation all year long. He may not be part of the postseason, but I really look for him to be in that Yankee uniform for at least the next 3 or 4 years. Derek Lowe didn't put it together as a starter till he was 29 years of age. Kevin Brown, again, 27.
3-2 now. Breaking ball. The miss way outside. It's fun. I mean, there have been times tonight where he's thrown pitches that have not gone anywhere near where he wanted them to go, and yet he always seems to have been able to make the big pitch when he had adversity staring him in the face. He got through a bases loaded jam in the first inning. 3-2. That one is hit a mile but foul. Wow, it hit up into the light standing. I haven't seen that since Robert Redford did it in when he was Roy Hobbs.
The natural. Well, it was the light tower. Nothing exploded up there. It hit something solid. Every other thing power-wise has gone out tonight, but nothing there.
Manny to the right side. Soriano ranging far to his left. Throws him out. Out number 2. That's because Barry Levinson has better special effects man than they have here at Fenway Park.
Wasn't it the home run derby where McGuire was hitting them up into that light tower? That's big man's territory. Little guys don't reach that part of these ballparks.
And this is not a little guy right here. David Ortiz. He has walked tonight and has popped up to second. Ortiz, yesterday's hero, the former Minnesota Twin. I was talking to him before the game, and he started telling me about what he's learned about Fenway Park, which is he now tries to hit the ball with authority to left field. He said at the Metrodome, that was a graveyard for left-handed hitters. He wanted to pull the ball there. Mondesi in, he's got it. And that's the inning. And I told him about Ted Williams and Fred Lynn and Carl Yastrzemski. He says, really, I didn't know that. Yankees coming up. Here come the Yankees into the 7th inning. The Yankees lead 3-0 against Derek Lowe and the Red Sox. Derek Jeter, the hitter, hits it hard. And there's Damon. He can't come up with this one. He made a great catch similar to that here yesterday, but not quite on this one. And Jeter has his 2nd hit of the night.
Imagine that. He's had more hits than anybody in the major leagues the last 5 years. Derek Jeter in his first 4 years. Only Ty Cobb, Pete Rose, and Stan Musial had more of these, and this ball almost went for a lot of extra bases. You see the great effort on the part of Damon. He almost got there, tried to get his wrist out of the way so he didn't fall on top of it. He's wondering what happened with his glove there. Well, you should have come up with that ball.
Well, now Grady Little is coming out to the mound with Jason Giambi up. And he's going to go to the bullpen. So the Red Sox bringing in the left-hander Fossum to face Giambi. We'll be back. 25-year-old Casey Fossum on to face Giambi, who hits the first pitch into center. Damon can't get this one either. Went into a slide to trap it. Jeter to second and holding is Giambi. It's a breaking ball on the first pitch and dunks it into shallow center. Hit number 10 for the Yankees, and now Bernie Williams, the switch hitter, will come up against Fossum.
Well, you know, the numbers this year dictated Greg Little come out and bring in a left-handed reliever. Giambi this year just 168 against left-handed pitching. But over his career, he's a 290 type hitter against left-handers. Fossum has had trouble with Giambi in the past. That trend continues.
So here's Bernie. He is 1 for 3 in the game. He's grounded out, had an infield single, and hit into a double play. Fossum began the year in the rotation for the Red Sox. Then he missed about a month with shoulder tendonitis. And since coming back, they've used him as a reliever. Bernie fouling one off to the right. And the count is 0-1. You see his numbers overall for the year, which include a save this past Monday against the Tigers. He went the last 4 innings of a ball game, which Boston won 14-5. And he was struggling. And I don't know how long he pitched where that shoulder was bothering him, but finally they shut him down, put him on the DL. He was 4-4 with a 5.76 ERA as a starter. Right out there to Trot Nixon. Jeter's tagging up, heading for third. Nixon's throw goes through. Giambi holding it first, and Jeter almost overslid the bag. Miller held the tag on him.
Well, he's one of the best base runners in the game of baseball. Has been for a long, long time. He tests the arm of Trot Nixon. Take a look at Bernie going the other way, trying to stay out of the double play. Hits it just far enough to get his buddy to third base. Watch Nomar. Take a look at Nomar trying to decoy Jason Giambi at first base. He came in like he was going to cut that throw off, and reason being to keep the double play in order here.
Now Matsui. He knocked in a run with a 2-out single in the third. And the curveball from Fossum misses. Matsui is 2 for 3. He got an infield hit in the 6th inning that started a rally and scored a run. So he's 2 for 3 in the game. He had been hitless in the series until tonight. Matsui hitting .297 for the year. That curveball catches the outside. 1 ball, 1 strike. Matsui has now driven in 71 runs. He only has 10 home runs. So hitting in the clutch when he's got the chance to drive in a run, that has been his sort of his specialty. And Joe Torre said earlier this year that he believes Matsui is the reason that the Yankees are better this year than they were last year, because he is such an outstanding situational type hitter. And that's a ball.
I think that's what George Steinbrenner, to me, the MVP of the Yankees every year, is all about. They talk about teams getting complacent, and he helps Joe Torre keep that from happening by adding that one special guy every year, whether it's Musina, whether it's Giambi. This year it's Matsui.
Foul tip. Fossum got the fastball by him. 2 balls, 2 strikes. So you'd like to have played for George Steinbrenner?
Well, not back then. They weren't very good then. They had a great first baseman in Don Mattingly. That was about it. They've been good for a long time, though, and it wasn't just a coincidence that they got good when Joe Torre took over.
2-2 the count. And he struck him out. The curveball in the dirt. And not this time for Matsui. He is unable to get Jeter home from third.
Everybody we talk to, including their young general manager, Theo Epstein, talks about Fossum and his potential. They're going to get him back into the rotation, if not this year, then at least by the start of next year. He was asked for in trades for Bartolo Colon. They said, no, we're not giving up this young guy. You look at him, you don't look for a lot of velocity, but when he's healthy, 95 with that big sweeping breaking ball and a tremendous future if he can get that shoulder back where it was.
Jorge Posada has had 2 walks and a single tonight. Runners at first and third, 2 down. And the curveball in there for a strike. And Giambi hit that first curveball for a single to center. Posada with Jeter at third and Giambi at first. Millar on the bag with him. But Fossum has suddenly started getting Yankee hitters to go after that curve without success. That fastball missed very high. 1 ball, 1 strike. Yeah, that was the story, that Bartolo Colon eventually ended up going to the White Sox. But the Red Sox could have had him if only they had been willing to include Casey Fossum in the deal. One ball, one strike to count. Ooh, slider. 1-2.
Exactly right. That one 84 miles an hour. The previous breaking ball 76 miles an hour. A little get over curve. He can tighten it up, and he can definitely speed it up with that fastball if he wants to.
Yanks already leading 3-0. We're in the 7th inning. They have a chance to lengthen that lead. Jeter at third, Giambi at first. Curveball to Bill Miller. Here's the throw to first, and the inning is over, and Fossum got it done. 2 down, nobody on, or 2 on, nobody out. He got Williams, Matsuri, and Posada.
Make sure you pull your hat down real low, where all you can see is the catcher's mitt.
Major League Baseball Charities is a proud partner of Boys and Girls Clubs of America.
All right, kids, today we're going to talk about pregame rituals. You want to take your shoes and you want to point them directly south.
Through programs like RBI and Rookie League, they bring baseball and softball to kids around the world.
What are you doing, dude? You can't move the shoes.
When you're the pitcher, you're in charge. Show no fear. Keep the hitter honest.
Together, they create a positive place for kids.
Sunday night baseball from Boston. The Yankees are leading the Red Sox 3-0 here in the rubber match of their 3-game series. I'm John Miller with Rick Sutcliffe, and Rick will be hiking up the road to Montreal for tomorrow night's ball game. Seen right here on ESPN, Gary Sheffield and the slugging Atlanta Braves taking on Vladimir Guerrero. He's back. Jose Vidro and the Montreal Expos, 7 o'clock Eastern, 4 o'clock Pacific tomorrow night from Olympic Stadium in Montreal. Frank Robinson, one of the all-time greats in this Hall of Fame weekend. Robinson, who went from the National League to the American League, and in his first year in a new league, facing pitchers that he didn't know, won the Triple Crown. Now that's greatness. Hit 49 homers, had the best batting average, the most RBIs. And nowadays, stuff like that doesn't really happen that often.
You know, to me, he's a living legend, that being Frank Robinson. He won the Rookie of the Year. He won an MVP in both leagues. The Triple Crown, as you said, he was the MVP of an All-Star game. He was the MVP of a World Series. And he had the opportunity. He was granted permission to go to the Hall of Fame ceremonies and be part of, as you say, his immortals. He said, no, I'm going to stay with my team. And with all of the travel problems they've had, all of the things that team has had to go through, it's remarkable how hard Frank Robinson has kept them playing.
So Rick will be checking in with Frank Robinson and the Expos tomorrow night right here on ESPN. Kevin Millar to lead off now for the Red Sox, who have only 2 hits. The Red Sox with a team batting average of .295 coming into this game, averaging 6.2 runs a game. And tonight they've had 2 hits in 20 at-bats against Jeff Weaver.
Well, and none of those hits nor any of the base on balls have come with the leadoff hitter of an inning. That's been the key for Weaver. He's gotten the first guy out, and then from that point on, it's been easier for him.
They've only put 2 men on base since the first inning. Millar, and he spins a curveball in there for a called strike. Millar came up with the bases loaded, but 2 down. They didn't get the thing going until 2 men were out in the first inning. Weaver hit Garcia-Parra, then walked Ramirez and Ortiz to load the bases, but he got Millar on a fly ball to shallow left center to end the threat. And he spins that one in there for a called strike.
And that's exactly what got him that out in the first inning. That was the key to the ball game. He couldn't find the release point to his breaking ball with anybody until Millar come up. He threw it for a strike to begin with. He has had it from that point on.
The Yankee bullpen is busy, by the way. Came into the hands that time, and it's yanked foul into the seats. Still 0-2 to Millar. Trot Nixon on deck. Bill Miller due up third in the inning. In the Yankee bullpen, the left-hander, Chris Hammond, has started to warm up. And he struck him out. He dropped down from the side with that curveball. And Millar is now 0 for 3.
Well, this is the one thing that even the players, along with the pitching coach Mel Stottlemyre, say that Jeff Weaver had done a little bit too much. He would drop down in that angle a lot of times in the first pitch of an at-bat. he would give him that look to begin with. Most hitters for the first strike would just say, hey, I'll take it. You can have the first one. Now he's pitching. He's using all of his pitches, both sides of the plate, and then creating those difficult angles.
Here's Trot Nixon. He is flied out to shallow center and struck out. And that curveball, he hits it foul off his foot. But it's interesting how this series is played out. I mean, Friday night, you had a couple of old pros, David Wells and Pedro Martinez. Certainly the Red Sox always feel confident whenever Pedro is pitching. But the Yankees eventually won the game when it got to the bullpens. There's Hammond, by the way, up in the Yankee bullpen right now. Yesterday, you wouldn't have given much for the Red Sox chances at all. That's strike 2 to Nixon. John Burkett had never beaten the Yankees, and his lifetime ERA was almost 10. It's like he'd never even pitched a decent game against the Yankees, who were going with Mike Messina. The Red Sox didn't have anybody to ever even touch Messina. And yet, the Red Sox won yesterday. Burkett pitched well.
Well, he threw up 5 and 2 scoreless, 2/3 scoreless innings in that ball game. But guess what happened? They came back. It became a battle of the bullpen. This game is far from over right now. Joe Torre knows that. That's why there's already activity up in his bullpen.
Weaver has thrown 107 pitches in this game. By the way, David Wells in that game on Friday left with his back hurting. And he's not exactly sure if he's going to be able to make his next start. Wells has had a very strong year for the Yankees. 12-3. Big curveball low and inside to Trot Nixon. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Nixon has flied out to shallow center and struck out. Of course, Nixon's having about the same night that all the other Red Sox are having against Weaver. And Weaver has been impressive. A 2-hitter going here at Fenway Park. A check swing and a foul. Well, Nixon was just hoping that something good would happen on that one.
He knew he couldn't do much with it, but he has done a lot of that this year. Last year he hit 256. This year well over 300 because of things like that. He tries to make contact, foul off those difficult pitches in hopes of getting another one and a mistake. Right now they just like to get Jeff Weaver out of this ballgame.
He's getting close to being out at 110 pitches for the night. Trot Nixon backs away for a moment. Nixon, who was at 346 in the month of July. Now a full count, 3-2. And there have been a lot of full counts tonight. A lot of deep counts, considering how well Weaver's done in the final analysis. He's thrown a lot of pitches to get there.
Yeah, but he's throwing better right now than he has thrown at any point in this ballgame. That last fastball was 94 miles an hour.
Just missing inside with a 93-mile-an-hour heater. And that is the first walk that Weaver has given up since the first inning.
Take a look at it. Awful, awful close. You can see that Posada's wanting to get the call. Kevin Kelly not giving him that play. You can see he made the correct call. He looks in that direction as if to tell everybody in both dugouts that's where the ball was. It wasn't low, wasn't high. It was off the inside corner.
Joe Torre checking the lineup card. Here is Bill Miller. He blasted one, but out into Death Valley. A home run probably anywhere else but here. Look out, that hit him. A breaking ball that got Miller right around that right shin or maybe the right calf. And he's hurting. Omar Garcia-Parra got hit in the very first inning. And then when retaliation was made by Lowe against Matsui in the second, a warning was issued to Lowe and both dugouts.
This is the last thing in the world Joe Torre wanted to happen. Varitek has good numbers against Weaver. Hammond, the reliever, Varitek is 1-for-1 off of. But the problem is Varitek, being a switch hitter, is hitting much better from the right side. That's where he's going to hit in this at bat.
Jim Rowe, the trainer, out there with Miller to see if he can stay in the game. Jeff Weaver is definitely out of the game. We'll be right back. The Red Sox with a threat, trailing 3-0, and Jason Varitek, powerful switch hitter, will switch around and bat from what has been his stronger side, at least for batting average this year. He's hitting .349 as a righty. And Hammond gets it in there for a called strike. See Hammond's numbers. He had a remarkable season with Atlanta last year. And then the Yankees looking for somebody to replace Mike Stanton. Went out and picked him up.
Another remarkable year. Those numbers outstanding.
First game he's pitched in a week. Curveball too low.
I know you saw the first pitch at 80 miles an hour. You might have thought after everything we've seen tonight that was a changeup. That's the fastball. So 65-mile-an-hour changeup at times from Chris Hammond.
So the 80, that's when he's humping up and
that you know, if the wind wasn't blowing out, it might be 82.
That one is hit deep. This one is way back there. It's tied up over everything onto Lansdowne Street. Varitek has changed everything with one swing of his bat. With his 18th home run of the year and only the second home run allowed this year by Hammond. Hammond had given up one homer in 41 2/3 innings, and they are still on their feet at Fenway Park. And that one was smoked. Over the wall, over the new seats, above the wall, and out into the streets of Boston. Varitek with a quick wave acknowledging the ovation of the crowd. Now Mel Stottlemyre is going to come out.
Well, he only had time for a quick wave because he's got to get back in the dugout and get the gear on to go out and catch the top of the 8th inning. That's what's so remarkable about what Varitek and Posada have done this year. You take a look at the home runs. You mentioned 18 now for Varitek, 19 for Posada, 65 RBIs now for Jason Varitek. And these numbers are coming from guys that missed 20% of the ball games because of the demands of the position that they play. They're catchers. They can't play every single day. If they could, if they were first baseman, their numbers would even be better.
So Jeff Weaver left the game with a 2-hit shutout. Now has had 2 runs charged to his record and can't even qualify for a win. And the fans here in Boston are still extremely excited.
Well, it's a team that's been built on big innings all year long. They don't usually put up one here, one there. They come in 3s, 4s, and 5s for Boston.
Damon the hitter, and that's a strike. 2-1 the count. So Hammond, who after giving up the tape measure home run to Varitek, quickly fell behind Damon. Now it is 2-1. A check swing and a foul. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Todd Walker on deck. This rally started with a walk to Nixon. And then Bill Miller got hit by a pitch. Way outside. 3-2 the count.
You know, I think about Derek Lowe, too, right now. He didn't have his best stuff. He struggled throughout. He had men on at all time, but he held on. His defense held in there with him, and because of it, an opportunity to make a late comeback.
And Damon fights it off. Back into the seats. Off to the left, 3-2. Well, Joe Torre, a couple of things that I'm sure persuaded him to get Weaver out of there. I mean, his pitch count was getting high. He obviously had just walked a man and hit a man. That ball is hit down toward Pesky's pole. It is a home run. Johnny Damon follows Varitek's home run with one of his own. And just like that, the Red Sox have gone ahead. And Hammond, who had given up just one homer in 42 other games this year, has been lit up twice by the only two hitters he's faced.
Well, they talk about what Johnny Damon has brought to this team, and that's been some high energy. And I don't know. I know there's been a lot of great games and a lot of great things that have gone on in this ballpark, but that energy is way, way up there now.
Armando Benitez will come in from the bullpen. Torrey looking for somebody who can get somebody out. The big hitters are yet to come for the Red Sox, who suddenly lead it 4-3. Armando Benitez pitching for the third time in 3 days here at Fenway Park. He worked here on Friday ahead of Mariano Rivera. Yesterday came in and actually got tagged with the loss in the 9th inning. And now here he is again in the 7th inning tonight. Todd Walker, the hitter. Hits it sharply but foul. Now it'll be interesting to see what kind of stuff Benitez brings with him to the mound tonight, because I mean, he threw a lot of high stress kind of pitches the last 2 days. Every hitter important, every pitch important, and he threw a lot of pitches the last 2 days.
Both one-run ball games, and with Benitez, you know that there's going to be a lot of arm speed involved. He's not a change-up sinker type guy. It's all about power, and he needs that little extra to be good.
A bloop, right center. That's falling. Base hit. The second hit of the night for Todd Walker. The Red Sox leading 4-3 on consecutive homers here in the 7th from Varitek and then Damon.
He's been off to a slow start, that being Johnny Damon, just .267 for an average, only 8 home runs. Last year he hit 14 home runs. You don't normally get a combination like that from your leadoff man, but Boston has it, the Yankees have it, and because of Johnny Damon, Boston has the lead tonight.
It is 302 feet to that foul pole, and almost any other ballpark, that ball probably would have hooked foul before it got to the foul pole. Not Nomar Garcia-Parra. Damian Jackson has gone to first base as a runner for Todd Walker. And this is a different kind of a Red Sox club. They have all the sluggers, they have all the power, but they also have some guys who can run. And Jackson is one of them.
He ain't going to be there long, I promise you that.
Jackson, who's been used primarily as a pinch runner, has 13 steals. And he was heading the wrong way that time and just did get back.
This is just part of that depth that we talked about. Not only to the lineup, when you get that kind of production from the bottom of your order with Bill Miller and Jason Varitek, but they have winning pieces of the puzzle on their bench for Grady Little, their manager, to go to. There's one of them, and Damian Jackson.
They pitch out. Almost as if Jackson, the Red Sox, saw that one coming.
And it's almost as if you could have stolen it anyway. You take a look at the high leg kick of Benitez. That's all of the time Damian Jackson needs to get down there. Orozco looking for time now to get ready again.
We've got Garcia-Parra at the plate. Ramirez behind him. Then the lefty Ortiz. There goes Jackson. A strike. The throw. He's out. No, the ball was dropped. He was called out by DeMuth, who then saw the ball roll free out of the glove of Soriano. And so Jackson is in there.
That's what I've always loved about Damian Jackson, is he doesn't wait for pitch counts to run on. He just takes off. And more times than not, he's going to beat the throw. But he didn't beat the throw this time. Posada got a good fastball to handle. Garcia-Parra was taken all the way. Because of that arm strength we mentioned earlier, look at Posada. He gets everything he's got on it. It's a short hop. It's an in-between hop. It hits the glove and the face of Jackson at the same time.
Now base hit could mean a run. Benitez hung that. I don't know if it was a slider or a splitter. It hung whatever it was.
Well, and his arm has to be hanging a little bit. As you mentioned, he's thrown in the last 2 ball games. The electricity, just like it is right now. Orozco, the guy that's up and throwing, has also thrown in the last 2 games. Joe Torre with just not a lot of confidence in anybody else down there.
Nomar now with a count of 2 balls, 2 strikes. He has been hit by a pitch tonight. on his right hand, on the top of his right hand. He's also grounded out to third and flied out to right. 4 runs are in for the Red Sox in the 7th. They were shut out. They'd had only 2 hits for the night until this inning. Varitek and Damon going yard in succession. Ramirez on deck. Soriano at second, trying to keep Jackson close, and then Benitez looks back. By the way, that play at second base, there was a very controversial play yesterday when Jeremy Giambi stole second in the 9th inning. The Yankees really felt they'd gotten him, that he was out, and it was a bad call. And then moments later, he scored the winning run. Ventura looks Jackson back and throws out Garcia-Parra. 2 down. Here comes Manny Ramirez. And here comes Joe Torre. Now you've got first base open. You've got the great RBI man, one of the best RBI men of his era, coming up. So the only, I'm guessing he's going to bring in Orozco to walk Ramirez and pitch to Ortiz. Or maybe a pinch hitter for Ortiz. We'll be back. We're at Fenway Park. The Red Sox 4, the Yankees 3. Jesse Orozco comes in to walk Manny Ramirez intentionally with first base open, and the left-handed batting David Ortiz due up next. Ortiz, who has never faced Jesse Orozco in his career,
and may not. They may go to a pinch hitter here.
They have Gabe Kapler, a right-handed hitter, and then they've got Doug Mirabelli, the second catcher, whom they would not use.
See, a lot of times pitchers don't like to come in and throw 4 pitches to intentionally walk a guy, but you have to if you're Joe Torre, because by doing that now, if they want to pinch hit, Joe Torre can also bring in another pitcher. If they go to Kapler, Joe Torre could have gone to Osuna, who's up and throwing in the bullpen. If you have the previous pitcher, if you let Benitez intentionally walk Manny Ramirez, and then you bring in Orozco, now they've got you where they want you instead of where you want them now.
Well, you've explained it.
Well,
I mean, that was a good explanation. Here's Ortiz. He's hitting .230 against left-handed pitching, .305 against the right-handers, and of course Orozco, who is 46 years old and has pitched in more big league games than any pitcher in history. In fact, he was on the mound when the final out of the 1986 World Series was recorded against the Red Sox. He was with the Mets. That one down the right field line. Hooking, and that one's going to roll around. Mondesi's got to go chase it. 1 run in. Ramirez is in, and Ortiz steams into third, standing up. 6-3 Boston. A triple for the big guy. His first.
A lot of guys his size don't hit many triples because they don't want to. They don't want to have to run that far and that hard. But Ortiz will gladly take it. He appreciates the opportunity to stay in the game and hit against the left-handed pitcher. And it's also, again, another reliever for Joe Torre that has pitched in all 3 ball games in this series. It has come down to a lack of confidence. It started with the lack of confidence in Weaver. Why wouldn't you? I mean, he's under 500 on one of the best teams in baseball. And then you've got Hitchcock down there, you've got Osuna down there that you don't normally use in winning ball games. He's going to have to at some point tonight.
6 runs are in. And the Yankee bullpen, which took a loss here yesterday, has not been able to get anything done here tonight. The bullpen inherited a 3-0 lead and 2 base runners with 1 out in this inning. The bullpen has gotten 1 more man out, but in the meanwhile 6 runs have scored and counting. The Red Sox are not out yet.
Well, they really don't have a true left-handed specialist to come in out of that pen and get a left-handed hitter out. Hammond's best pitch is a changeup. Hitchcock's best pitch is a splitter. Again, another changeup. And with Jesse Orosco, you just never know how much more he has left in the tank. He struggled in the early part of this year with the Padres. He had pitched well the last 2 nights. He's getting hit around tonight.
Trot Nixon, and he takes a strike. Fastball on the outside. This rally started with 1 out. Kevin Millar, having just been walked intentionally, led off the inning by striking out. Then Nixon came up, and he walked, and that was the beginning of this huge inning. A bloop. Soriano sprinting out. So is Jeter. It is Jeter who gets to it. 11 men come to plate for Boston. 6 of them score. Now to the 8th inning. Nick Johnson coming up. The Yankees are trailing 6-3. Out of the 8th inning at Fenway Park, and suddenly the Red Sox in a stunning turnaround own a 6-3 lead over the Yankees here in the rubber match of this series. Now the next poll question: which team in the majors has the best offense? And nearly 37% who voted, and look at that, nearly 108,000 votes cast at ESPN.com. And 37% say the Red Sox, 24% went with Atlanta, 20% with the St. Louis Cardinals, 11% with the Yankees, and then the Blue Jays. I mean, all 5 of those clubs have great offensive ball clubs, but most of the people who voted thought the Red Sox were the best. And I don't know that Chris Hammond, Armando Benitez, or Jesse Orosco would argue at this point.
Well, a couple of people that had a lot to do with that we just saw, Johnny Damon and Jason Varitek. I mean, this team, there's so many ways offensively that Boston can come at you.
Scott Sauerbeck, the new pitcher for the Red Sox, number 48, the former Pittsburgh Pirate, and just acquired by the Red Sox and thrust into his first Yankees-Red Sox war almost immediately. And Sauerbeck, I mean, his years with the Pirates, they were never even in a pennant race. He's in a pennant race, and he's in something else that's been going on for centuries. Damian Jackson stays in to play second base. Sauerbeck, the prize left-hander, been one of the top left-handers in the National League for a while. And the story is that the Yankees were also trying very hard to get him.
Why wouldn't everybody want him? He has flat dominated left-handed hitting the last couple of years, doing it again this year.
But he enters the game with a 3-run lead to face the left-handed hitting Nick Johnson, and he walks him. There's Mike Timlin up in the Boston bullpen. So we've seen the Yankee bullpen struggles firsthand, but the Red Sox have struggled in their bullpen most of the year.
Well, I think it has to be Timlin now, because all of the right-handers are in order. Zeal is going to hit. You got a right-hander in Mondesi, back to the top of the order with 2 more right-handers. So if you're Grady Little, you do what he's doing right now.
So Torrey sort of forced his hand by putting Zeal in as the pinch hitter for Ventura. And Timlin, the right-hander, will come up. Don't go away.
Saturday, the day of reckoning, Judgment Day, D-Day. Saturday is 60 minutes that last for generations. I bleed red, you bleed orange. It's upsets, blowouts, trick plays, and trombone players they still can't tackle. Around here, every day is Saturday. NCAA Football 2004, rated E for everyone.
If it's in the game!
EA Sports.
It's in the game!
The Red Sox 6, the Yankees 3, top of the 8th inning. But the Yankees, who came from a 4-0 deficit yesterday afternoon here to tie the ball game before the Red Sox finally won it anyway in the last of the ninth. And now the Red Sox bullpen is being asked to do better.
Well, how did the Red Sox score those 6 runs in the bottom of the 7th inning? It started with the bullpen coming in. It also started with a walk to the guy who was hitting 7th in their order. That was Trot Nixon. We mentioned that was their strategy at the beginning of this year. You have to have people on base. You're not going to win many games with just solo home run. Well, once again, Boston's bullpen returning the favor, walking the guy, hitting 7th in the Yankee order.
So Zeal had come up as a pinch hitter for Ventura. Now Kareem Garcia is in turn the pinch hitter for Zeal. So Torrey got the matchup that he had hoped for. Timlin has been tough on right-handed hitters. Right-handed hitters hitting only .207 against Timlin. Garcia was one of the pinch hitters who got a base hit yesterday for the Yankees. 1 ball and no strikes. There's Nick Johnson, the runner at first. Kevin Millar, the first baseman, on the bag with him. Kareem Garcia hitting .248, but he's hitting .364 with the Yankees. And a strike on the outside. Mike Timlin, 13 years in the big league. He's been around a long time.
I'm almost afraid to say it. He's not going to walk anybody. He's only walked 5 guys all year. 2 of those have been intentional. But then again, on the other hand, Chris Hammond doesn't give up home runs this year until tonight.
That was a shot. Back out of play by Garcia. Kareem Garcia at the game yesterday had a different final outcome. Garcia would have been one of the heroes. He got the base hit against Byung-Hyun Kim to tie the ball game. Yankees pinch hitters were 3 for 3 yesterday. Just missed off the outside with that fastball. 2 balls, 2 strikes. Two and 2 the count. Strike 3 call.
Not what you're looking for out of a pinch hitter. Obviously what Kareem Garcia wasn't looking for out of Mike Timlin. He was basically sitting down the middle looking for a fastball in the strike zone. He reaches back across the plate, but clearly on the inner half of the plate, clearly not what Garcia wanted to see.
Well, you might think, gee, Kareem, pretty good pinch hitter, got the game-tying hit as a pinch hitter in the 8th inning yesterday. Well, that was his first pinch hit at bat all year yesterday. Now another pinch hitter, Ruben Sierra, the veteran. Sierra hitting .283. Timlin's got it. Over to second. Garcia-Parra gets the 1. Couldn't get it out of his glove. Johnson forced out at second. Sierra safe at first after hitting for Mondesi.
I just wonder if what happened earlier in the ballgame didn't have something to do with Nomar's right hand not being able to pull the baseball out. It was a perfect throw, hitting right in the chest. And you look at the exchange there, and we remember what happened in the bottom of the first. Nomar got drilled by a fastball from Jeff Weaver in that throwing hand. Even if it's broke, he's not going to come out of a game as important as this is to the Red Sox.
2 down, and now Soriano, the leadoff man for the Yankees, is hitless tonight. In fact, has not been able to get the ball out of the infield. Soriano with 24 home runs this year. The timeout is taken at the plate. Soriano is lined out to second, struck out, grounded into a double play, and grounded out to third. Here's that play in the first you're talking about, Rick.
Take a look at his right hand. The trainers have checked with him every inning as he's come into the dugout to see how he's doing.
Well, they've had Soriano chasing pitches out of the strike zone most of the night.
Well, and they've been chasing the Yankees for the last 5 years, as we mentioned. And that's why, to me, this is a must-win for the Red Sox. Not so for the Yankees. This has been an easy month, the month of July, schedule-wise. August gets real tough for Boston, with a lot of games against Oakland, Anaheim, and Seattle.
2 strikes now to Soriano. If he could get aboard, Jeter would come up next as the possible tying run. Varitek out to the mound to hand deliver the new ball to Timlin. Meanwhile, the Boston bullpen is busy again. There's Jeter, hoping to bat in the inning. Number 43, that's Alan Embry.
He's getting ready for one guy, and that's Jason Giambi.
Jeter on deck, Giambi in the hole.
I think what's happening here is the catcher's trying to talk Timlin out of something that he wants to throw. You got 2 outs, you got an 0-2 count. Normally you go with whatever the pitcher wants to put down, but there was a lengthy conversation there about this 0-2 pitch.
Giambi from the dugout, 0-2 the count, and down and away.
He wanted something set up there. He actually wanted that fastball up and away to set up this, what I'm guessing to be another breaking ball. I mean, as exciting as those 6 runs were in the bottom of the 7th for Boston, let's not forget, Jeter in the on-deck circle could represent the tying run.
Time taken. Soriano backs away for a moment. Too high. 2-2 the count. Grady Little.
Chewing that gum pretty good, isn't he?
Grady has not often been in the late innings of a game this year where he felt comfortable, whatever the lead has been.
A little more comfortable now with Byung-Hyun Kim, but it's still a little uneasy sitting.
Struck him out. And he stayed with the hard stuff all the way. 6-3 Red Sox. To the last of the 8th we go. Bill Miller, then Varitek coming up.
Attention please, change for the Yankees.
Red Sox 6, Yankees 3 as we go to the last half of the 8th inning. Stay tuned now. Sports Center coming up next. Did Pedro Martinez get special treatment here on Friday night as Joe Torre felt when he was not ejected from the game? The NFL's most dominant, that'll be a story they'll look into. And that's all coming up on Sports Center right after the game. Stay tuned.
Well, Pedro did do some things that a lot of mortals couldn't have gotten away with, being it's a night of immortals with all of the Hall of Fame ceremonies going on. But I give Dana DeMuth, the home plate umpire, a lot of credit for not throwing Pedro out. And the reason I say that is because it was a borderline pitch. Dana DeMuth might have thought that he missed the pitch. And why would you throw the pitcher out when the argument might have been started because of a mistake on your part?
It's Sierra out in right field, and there's Enrique Wilson has come on to play third base. Wilson will hit in the 8th spot in the order. And here is Bill Miller against Antonio Osuna in from the Yankee bullpen. Hard thrower, a veteran. Osuna with a 2.73 ERA. He spent time on the disabled list and is not yet convinced Joe Torre that he's ready for those important hitters late in games when they're trying to hold the lead. 1 ball, 1 strike. The question is, the Yankees don't seem to have many of those pitchers around at the moment. Tonight they needed somebody to get them from Jeff Weaver to Mariano Rivera. They needed 2 outs in that 7th inning with a 3-0 lead, the bullpen did. And Boston ended up with 6 on the board before those 2 outs were recorded.
I really think it would have been Osuna coming in the 7th inning instead of Armando Benitez if Joe Torre would have known they were going to score those first 4 runs so quick. I mean, Varitek hit the 3-run homer, and then just a couple of pitches later, Johnny Damon hit another home run off Chris Hammond. He had Benitez up, thinking that it would be a tie game, bring Benitez in to face Nomar Garciaparra if needed. But the next thing you knew, they were behind, and then they were even further behind.
Bill Miller, who was hit by a pitch in that 7th inning. That was the end of Jeff Weaver. With 1 out in the 7th and a 3-0 lead. Weaver had a 2-hit shutout going, walked Nixon, and then he hit Miller. And with his pitch count mounting, Torre went and got it. Struck him out with the off-speed pitch. There's 1 away.
We had done nothing but talk about Boston's offense all night long. Well, it didn't show up for the first 6 innings, but come the 7th inning, they were able to put a 6-run spot up. Varitek with a homer from the right side, Johnny Damon from the left side, hugging that pole. Varitek has been hot all year long. The one guy they needed to get going was Johnny Damon. He is now.
Now Varitek as a left-handed hitter. Ooh. Changed up on him. It's 0-1. Varitek had one of the 2 hits the Red Sox had gotten against Weaver. As he hit a fly ball off the left field wall down the line in the 5th inning. But he has hit better as a right-handed hitter this year. And when Torrey went to get Weaver, he brought in Hammond, the lefty. And Varitek moved to the right side. He's averaged 1 homer now every 12 at-bats as a right-handed hitter and is hitting over .350 right-handed. But he also is hitting about .500 lifetime against Weaver with a double tonight against him.
You got to give Jason Varitek so much credit. He is part of the rotation first, part of the lineup second. He spends so much time watching video, studying charts as to what his pitchers can do to get the opposing hitters out. Then on the other hand, he's got to work on his offense, not only from the left side where he hits most of the time, but he's got to do it on the right side as well. So it's a full day's work put in by the Red Sox catcher.
Two and two the count to Varitek. 1 out, nobody on here in the 9th inning. Johnny Damon on deck. 6-3 the Red Sox lead. There's Damon. Now the Yankees will have their best hitters up, or many of them, in the 9th inning. Jeter, Giambi, Bernie Williams, Matsui due 4th, Posada due 5th, Johnson 6th. As Byung-Hyun Kim gets ready in the Red Sox bullpen. Giambi will be coming up second. 2-2. Fastball up and away. 3-2.
They just don't give away outs, do they? This is a different Boston Red Sox approach. They hit well last year. Only the Anaheim Angels had a higher average in the American League than Boston. Nobody's higher than them this year. But it's the walks that they're throwing in there along with the hits.
And not this time for Varitek. Osuna strikes him out. 2 men down.
Talking about Varitek wanting to be part of the staff first. Remember the problems they had calling the 0-2 pitch on Soriano? They argued. Timlin, Varitek, what to do. You can see there he's putting down 2 fingers. Now he's wanting the fastball away. He kept getting shaken off. They kept shaking off. Finally, Varitek got what he wanted, and take a look. That's what happened. Finished him off with a good sinking fastball away.
And there's ball 1 to Johnny Damon. Well, that was interesting because that was another pitch. Actually, the second pitch after they'd been out at the mound having that big long talk. And they still weren't together on it.
And I thought the key to it was the fact that, he put down the 2 fingers to begin with. A lot of times that's just shake me off. And what that does, it puts in a hitter's mind. When you see a guy shaking you off, a lot of times the hitter will go, all right, he put down a fastball first. He's going to something else. And that might have been Varitek once again trying to work on a young hitter's mind.
1-2 now to Damon. So, in other words, that may well have been by design.
Yep.
Well, that's some inside baseball. You're impressing me now.
Well, this guy's pretty impressive.
That's a fair ball for Matsui in the limited confines of that left field corner. Chases it down, and Damon, who homered in the 7th inning to put the Sox ahead, has a double here.
I really think Johnny Damon is what could make this Boston Red Sox team special. You're not going to hit home runs every night, although it seems like they do. Joe Torre's thinking they do. Grady Little hopes that they do. But his speed is what sets him apart. When you have speed, you don't go into slumps. You find ways to get on. You can bunt, you can walk, an error. All of a sudden you can turn what 90 feet was to begin with into a triple, a double, get into scoring position, make things happen. More speed at home plate right now.
Here's Damian Jackson, who entered the game as a pinch runner after Walker got a single in the 7th inning. Now, Jackson eventually got himself to second, but an error was charged to Alfonso Soriano on a throw that bounced into Alfonso, hit his glove about the same moment as Jackson hit him, and rolled out of his glove. That's a pop-up foul, and that will be out of play. So tough error on Soriano.
Really tough error. Most of the errors on Soriano are tough errors. He's got so much range. He's got 12 on the year now. We look at Byung-Hyun Kim getting ready to close, and believe me, he would take even more insurance when he looks at what's waiting on him in the top of the ninth.
Kim has also worked in the first 2 games of this series. Took a loss here Friday, and then came in the 8th inning yesterday with a 1-run lead and gave up a hit that brought the tying run home, got charged with a blown save, and then it ended up getting the win in the ball game. He's had 2 losses and a blown save against the Yankees this year, plus he ended up getting the win yesterday, which I suppose is probably the bottom line, right? You got the blown save, but you got the team won the game, so
everybody's happy.
Yeah.
I remember Byung-Hyun Kim talking about that World Series that he won, was part of, as the Arizona Diamondbacks. He says he gained confidence because finally Mariano Rivera blew a save. And he says, hey, if it can happen to the best closer of all time in the postseason, well, then I can understand why it would happen to me.
Back out of play again. 2-2 the count. Well, you know, all blown saves are not equal. I mean, in that World Series, he had a 2-run lead with 2 outs in the 9th inning and blew the save. Now, that's a blown save. Yesterday, he inherited somebody else's problem, and he didn't create the problem. And it's the 8th inning, and he gave up the hit, and that run scored. That's a lot of guys would get blown saves if they had to keep facing situations like that.
You know, and too, John, you're exactly right. A lot of guys can pitch in these situations. You're down by 3 runs. It's easy to come in. You say, well, what's wrong with Osuna? Why wouldn't he use him more often? Well, is the crowd on their feet? Is anybody yelling? No, not really. They've got a 3-run lead. They're already thinking about the top of the 9th. So the intensity, the pressure is not there in these spots.
The manager and the pitching coach have to identify which guys to bring in who can handle the electricity, handle the heat.
And there are a lot of really good numbers by Osuna this year, but the one number that jumps out that you don't like is the walks. And a lot of times in a tie game or a 1-run game, that's where Osuna has had problems this year. He'll walk a guy, and then with the high leg kick, you can run on him. You give up that little lead that you had.
The battle continues here with Damian Jackson and Osuna. Look out. High and tight. 3-2.
I've always liked the way you say that. Look out. Will you tape that for me so I can just replay that from time to time?
It's frightening. I mean, I'm sitting up here and it's frightening. 94 miles an hour. I'm hitting the deck myself.
I'm at home laying in my bed and I jump when you say that.
Damon at second, and Jeter goes up to get it. So Kim will have to make do with the 3-run advantage. Jeter, Giambi, and Bernie Williams coming up. Last chance for the Yankees. 6-3 Boston.
Trey Wingo here in our baseball studios with some rather sobering news. Authorities in Waco, Texas have confirmed the body they found over the weekend just south of Waco, Texas is that of missing Baylor basketball player Patrick Dennehy. The 6'10" Dennehy had not been seen since June 12th, and his former Baylor teammate and roommate Carlton Dotson has been charged with his murder. Again, Waco authorities have identified the body they found over the weekend as that of former Baylor basketball player Patrick Dennehy. SportsCenter will have complete coverage of the latest news coming out of Waco, Texas involving Patrick Dennehy and the charges of murder against his former teammate and roommate Carlton Dotson. For now, let's send you back to Fenway Park.
Looking for a happy ending, leading the Yankees 6-3 as we go to the 9th inning. This copyrighted telecast is presented by authority of the Office of the Commissioner of Baseball and may not be reproduced or retransmitted in any form, and the accounts and descriptions of this game may not be disseminated without express written consent. The new MLB Authentic Collection performance batting practice jerseys and caps are now in. Now anybody can get them by visiting MLB.com. Somebody already has his. Got a Nomar batting practice jersey. Here is Derek Jeter. And Byung-Hyun Kim throws him a called strike. Kim is not an overpowering guy, but he has a delivery that's much different than hitters usually face from a right-hander. And he is extremely tough on right-handed hitters. Always has been.
And that's where I think he's best suited to be. I think he would be one of the best right-handed setup men in the game. Left-handers have trouble against him. One of the easier guys in baseball to run on. Byung-Hyun Kim. It's difficult to hand a one-run lead over to a guy with numbers like that.
1-2 now. I mean, that pitch kind of comes from down under, and we'll have that. He's got one fastball, looks like it's rising. He's got another one that sinks.
Well, it's harder than really anybody I can remember that throws from that angle all of the time.
He also will throw a slider that rises, or it appears to rise anyway. And that slider, little frisbee off the outside. 2-2. Jeter did pretty well to lay off that one.
I don't know how he does it. Again, I think like we mentioned earlier, he's one of those guys who just, his eyes are better than the rest of us.
And that one inside. 3-2. And he needs to throw a strike here. I mean, the Yankees need base runners. Jeter would be very happy to take a walk. Kim acquired May 29th from Arizona for Shea Hillenbrand. Despite the fact he's been around for a long time, Kim is he's only 24 years old. The Diamondbacks were using him as a starter, and when he came over here, he was a starter. And he threw him the slider. I don't get that one. 3-run lead. They need base runners. You got a 3-2 count. You throw him a slider.
I think the reason he did it, he didn't really have confidence he could throw either pitch, fastball or slider, for a strike. And if you throw a slider and it's got a lot of late movement, maybe the hitter might help you. But in spots like this, Derek Jeter does nothing but help the New York Yankees. He just always seems to find a way to get something positive done.
All right, so, I mean, you've explained what could have been in Kim's mind. But it didn't work. So now Giambi. Giambi's predecessor in New York at first base hit one of the most memorable home runs in World Series history.
Oh, yeah.
And that was in Game 4 of the World Series 2 years ago. Tino Martinez. He'd had the one advantage of facing Kim earlier in that game. Kim had been in the game for a while already. And he went in and looked at videotape of Kim, whom he had never seen before, and determined a strategy and what to look for, and he got it, and he did not miss it, that's for sure. Jeter running, and they don't even contest Jeter's going into second base.
And you know, I talked with Tino last week about what was more difficult, replacing Mark McGwire in St. Louis or replacing Don Mattingly in New York. And he said easily Mattingly, because he was so loved by the community. And he said also easy because of the fact that McGwire had all of the injuries and was towards the end of the line. He too was going to shut it down. But a lot of respect for Tino Martinez, as Jason Giambi has a lot of respect for Tino.
Giambi didn't like that call by Kevin Kelly. There's Bernie Williams on deck. If Giambi can get aboard here, Bernie would be the possible tying run. And Fenway is rather quiet right now, rather pensive.
It's a little scared.
1-2. And he ran that slider right in on the hands of Giambi, who fouled it. Now that's pensive. That's scared. There's one guy who's praying. One guy can hardly look. I Love New York, she can hardly bear to look right now. She asked her boyfriend, can I look yet? 1-2 the count. He struck him out.
There's that fastball you were talking about. Right down the middle, but from a different angle than you normally see, and with a lot more velocity than you expect from down under. This is 91 miles an hour. Take a look where it's at. I mean, if you walked up and set it on a tee, that's where Jason Giambi would want it. But he didn't recognize it right away. Didn't know if it was a breaking ball, fastball. By then, it was too late.
So a huge out there. Giambi, who had a homer and a single earlier tonight. 2 for 4. He also was hit by a pitch in this game. Now Bernie. A wild swing at a pitch up and away. Bernie 1 for 4 in the game. And Bernie has not really found his groove yet since coming back from the disabled list. Byung-Hyun Kim. Of course, Tino hit that one homer against him. Then a left-handed hit. The next night it was a right-handed hitter. Brocious did the same thing. Bernie up the middle in shallow center. Walker's throw. Probably should have just held on to it. Over to third base. I say Walker. That's Damian Jackson in there now. He came on as a runner for Walker in the 7th inning. Jeter to third. Bernie gets the infield hit. And now, as the South Korean right-hander Kim tries to save one for the Red Sox, here comes Godzilla from Japan to try and tie the game for New York. Wow.
Godzilla's been even scarier than advertised this year. All those RBIs and clutch hits as a Yankee.
This could be 2. Jackson falls down. Can't get it out of his glove. Finally, just in time to get Bernie at second base with Nomar covering. Jeter scores to make it 6-4. Matsui is safe at first.
He got to it in plenty of time. He just couldn't stay on his feet. You take a look. He secures the baseball. He wanted to come out with it immediately and flip it to Nomar while in the air. But by the time he couldn't get the ball out of his glove, now he's in kind of a panic mode. You got to just make sure of one. But another thing we're sure of, that tie and run is still at home plate for the Yankees.
And Jorge Posada is the hitter. He has hit 19 home runs this year. Posada has hit 15 of them as a left-handed hitter. Averaging about 1 homer every 15 at-bats left-handed. 6-4. There goes Matsui as the ball is bounced foul by Posada. And Matsui will go back to first. Alan Embry back up in the bullpen. That run, the first run allowed by the Boston bullpen tonight, we probably should have talked at greater length about the job Casey Fossum did when he came in the 7th inning. With 1 on and nobody out and Giambi up. Giambi hit his first pitch for a single. 2 on and nobody out. And then he retired Williams, Matsui, and Posada to get out of that jam. Kim stepped off the slab and then looked Matsui back.
Well, that's not a guy you need to worry about. He's going to be at second base when this pitch is over with. Why you even look over there is beyond me. Your attention needs to be on Jorge Posada.
And Millar is playing 30 feet behind him.
He's coming in. And yet Kim still checks it.
25 feet maybe. There goes Matsui. Strike 2. Matsui into second base, uncontested. $34,787. The sellout crowd at Fenway Park. Everybody rising, hoping that Kim can wrap it up right here. Kim, since becoming the closer, has sort of created a chain reaction through that Boston bullpen. And the Boston bullpen has had a 3.09 ERA since Kim became the closer. He jammed him with the slider into and out of the Boston dugout. David Ortiz came out and asked for relief. The standings right now, Boston at 2.5 back of the Yankees. with a chance to take this series. They have not taken a series from the Yankees this year. Oh, and 2 the count. Posada along the left field line. Manny Ramirez. He's got it. Can he hold it? He holds it. And the ball game is over. Manny Ramirez with the ball hanging very tantalizingly right on the edge of the webbing, but he kept it in there and finally put the squeeze on it once and for all, and the Red Sox have taken the series from the Yankees.
We talked about it all night, how difficult these dimensions are. He's running out of room, but you know what? That's the tying run that he's going after, trying to keep him from getting on base. Manny Ramirez has won a lot of ball games for these Boston Red Sox. Normally he's doing it with a bat in his hand. Tonight he does it with the glove.
So the Red Sox take another step, at least they're hoping, toward the top in the East as they beat the Yankees. The bullpen holds on to it, and the Red Sox are a game and a half back of New York as soon July will turn to August. I'm John Miller for Rick Sutcliffe and Joe Morgan. Good night from Fenway Park.